Thank you. Isn't she the cutest?
Yeah, she is. She's adorable.
She doesn't like letting us sleep there much, but she's an adorable little bugger. I feel
I
like
mean,
if she
she
could,
looks looks like she's sleeping just fine. It sounds like a you problem.
I, we take those pictures at the right time. Sometimes you set her down at night. The worst thing is one thing they don't really warn you for are cluster feeds. When the child's like every hour she wakes up, she goes, "I'm hungry now." It's like, well, tonight's done because it takes you about 15, 20 minutes to feed her, then another 5, 10 to get her settled. Then by the time she's down, half an hour goes by, bam, she's back up like, no, we're not done yet, daddy.
No, no.
We've supplemented with formula a little bit, but it's not that bad.
So I can just go turn on Twitch and see more than I'm supposed to.
Definitely you can, John. That's a fair warning. You want spoilers, click on Twitch. Or, watch some of the old videos. But this is where we left off for last week's game. Though it wasn't last week, it was a few weeks ago, as there's been changes to things. I'll give you all a quick summary of what's gone on up until now. As you've all been making your way through this legendary old city of Conqueror, stuttered and broken as it is, trapped in Kania, the depths of the 8th hell. Traversing through rooms after rooms, you've unlocked and repowered one of the crystals before making it to this next room, very, very southeasterly. The previous room you were in was a beautiful garden called Eden. In it you found basically every type of food you can imagine, somehow magically altered so that their growth rate is exceptional. And upon searching through, you found yourselves under attack by the defenses of this mighty city as they tried to protect Eden from those who came in. Unfortunately, they were unsuccessful and the garden had fallen, destroying the central operating form. Managed to deactivate the others when the DM jumped the party with a number of Conqueror enforcers. Battle could have been a lot worse, but the party fortunately destroyed the central one first, forcing the others to deactivate. Afterwards, you found yourselves moving forward through this lofty dungeon, opening a door to what could only appear to be a beautiful meeting room. Stone masonry tables sitting flush to the ground with the sort of design and sculpting that only dwarves themselves could truly be capable of. Along with plush velour chairs of a similar color and fashion, leading up to a singular chair at the very, very front of this room, draped in red cloth. As well, you see two solid enforcers standing at the back door to this room, blocking an exit with folded arms. You might be able to make your way through, but at the moment, they don't seem to be taking any notice of you. As well, you definitely saw underneath a large glass pane to the south, with two burnt-out candles on either side of it, what appears to be a rather magnificent book with a ruby dragon on the cover. Underneath, a gigantic pane of glass. And for the briefest of moments, blinking in and out from between the shield, you see Bellamy comfortably seated in a chair. She looks at the party, gives a wave, takes a deep breath as if to say something, and poof, gone once again. Unfortunately, we don't have our guest star today. She'll be here one of these days, and she'll have some fun for in a session, but for now, she's still following along, and that's the DM's casual reminder that her bardic inspiration is pretty much a freebie, because I haven't been tracking its usages.
Just checking to see if a bard's inspiration comes back on a short or long rest.
Long rest.
Oh, is it? Oh.
I'm like 90% certain. Now you have me doubting myself. God damn it.
Maybe I should be the bard.
I know it's a long rest, but now I don't know why.
You gain any
Long
expanded
rest, yeah.
usage after a long rest. They also get to use it a number of times equal to the charisma modifier.
Huh. What did I think was... Maybe it's a Song of Rest I'm thinking of. That's a short rest thing.
Well, you get to use it on a short rest.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, anyway.
I think Bard is one of the few classes I've not played yet. Anyway.
Bard's nice. Bard's strong for its team assisting. You put one of those on the team, a DM just starts cursing. In a good way.
I'd like to be I think that I would go for a paladin to swords bard. Because well, basically.
Okay, Callie.
Hey, listen, I had the character built before Calliope Petricorn was a thing. Okay.
Okay, Dean. Just say you're an Emily stan and move on.
Big Whoop want to fight about it?
No, I'm an Emily stan too.
We talking stands like from the JoJo series? Because I'll be that Weldo, and that's all I know.
I'm vaguely aware that Stan is from JoJo. I've never seen an episode of it.
It's like their
I
version
thought
of
people
Super
said that
Saiyan.
it was. I thought I've heard that phrase came from the Eminem song.
That would be kind of awesome.
At this stage, I'm too afraid to ask.
Well, I'll tell you this much. This looks like a job for me.
Well done.
Well, feel free to explore this rather magnificent chamber, a meeting room of sorts.
Very just gonna give as Alex steps into the room, just give that enforcer a very, very well deserved stink eye. There's two of them.
As Alec steps into the room, both of their eyes light up as the bodies seem to come alive as you've previously seen, both heads turning to face your character, staring at you, but otherwise unmoving.
Do any of you guys get the feeling that that might be an important door they're guarding?
Probably.
Okay, I'm a bit wary about touching anything, so I'll for now I'll look and see if I can get any information off like the scraps, paper on the table, see if there's
Inspection or perception? Perception, being hands-off. Inspection being hands-on. Whichever you'd like to roll as you examine the table and the things on top of it.
I'll remain hands off until my my buddy with the better armor is in the room with me. Right, it's a pretty good roll for the first one of the day.
They're not strong, so that's probably a bad sign.
Dean rolling a 16 at the start of a game. My word.
It's very unusual.
Well, no, he gets like one high roll a game.
Well, I guess the high roll. I've not rolled a damage roll yet. That's when the ones and twos start to come in.
As you glance across, with a 35 on perception, it's hard to make out much of the documentation that's here, but you soon come to realize each one is branded with different forms and different peoples. You soon notice, without a doubt, the major races of this world. Oh, damn it, why'd the image not work when I go to do it that way?
Yeah, that being said, that first one is definitely out of the 3.5 Player's Handbook.
Yep.
And man, do I feel nostalgic right now.
I was trying to load up the one that also shows the ladies as well, but I got a different picture that I can pull instead. It was the guy's work. For some reason, D&D's like, no, you may not use the picture of ladies. So I'm just going to erase those, put that back in, and try again. There we go.
Anyone else genuinely not realise that gnomes were slightly taller than halflings? Because I didn't until like a few months ago.
I like the old depiction. They make
Well,
halflings a bit more
I had
stout
researched. It's funny because I had researched halflings a lot when I was making my halfling character Aster, like, very many years ago, and I read that they were smaller than gnomes, and I think I was trying to tell you that, and you, like, didn't believe me. Like, well, I'm pretty sure they are. You found out on your own.
It's just that gnomes just sound smaller, right? It's just, I don't know why.
You think of a lawn gnome. They're less than half, right?
Probably, yeah. That's probably it.
Oop, just give me 1 second.
Put this up into a bottle. I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of. And they're warm, so we won't have to heat them.
This is obviously some kind of council chamber.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Just try, like,
I've done everything else. I've changed
if that, like, that's obviously
She had a little wet spot.
Sardior's seat up here. And you think they'd be guarding, like, his private office or something there. It's just weird then that his office wouldn't be behind his head of the table.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless there's some kind of... Yeah, it's weird. It's like conference meeting with a little bit of a church thrown in at the bottom here. Oh, I wonder then.
Did you just print something, Dean?
No.
Printer just came on, scared the shit out of me and Fergus.
Oh.
I'll unplug it. Maybe it's like doing a self-clean or something. Fergus is about to fight it. He does not like the printer at all.
Yeah, he gets spooked easily.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
It's okay.
Alrighty. So yes, more information on Dean's Big 35 on his perception check for the extras. Glancing through, you can clearly see this was a place where each one of these seats were held by a different race of people from this world, some of whom were conglomerated among others. For example, you do see a notation where the hobbits, or halflings of this world, don't sue me, token. I did that on purpose. Where the halflings signed on with the gnomes for the gnomes to take care of most of their aristocratic... I'm still trying not to laugh. They're doing most of the work. The gnomes are taking care of a lot of the bookwork and the keepings, while halflings generally are not involved in this. Not that they don't have a voice, but strictly they didn't want to. It was too much of a bother, or too much of a hassle, so, you know, they let the gnomes take care of that for them. There's a little bit of that here and there. A good example would be that the orcs, who were beaten into submission originally, it notes, with the death of their king, are led by the half-orcs for the most part. The orcs themselves are not a fan of these dealings. They would rather solve problems by fist. However, peace has worked quite well for their prosperity, as you can see from some notations. So, they have a half-orc for the envoy for this sort of stuff. This sort of information continues around, mostly confirming here and there the races and the groups of peoples involved in signing off on these various treaties and various information. However, as you can tell, from the very top chair, walking through at a glance, an itinerary laid out which appears to be quite indestructible never got past its first meeting, which might make sense, as the city was only just commissioned, as you all recall, before it met this untimely fate. This room was preparatory, it would seem, for the greatest of meetings to take place. Only one on the record, from what you can see. The initial signing of the agreements that this would be the seat of power for all nations. Centralized, decentralized government. Democracy at its finest. And the emperor, the king, the leader, little more than a figurehead, because they could be voted out at any time. But you note there is a reign for the last 20 years under a familiar name. Yeah, that's right, it's Dusty. Straken Cabler.
Yeah, I still don't know where to call him Sardi or Straken now. He's both.
Well,
It seems he would prefer Straken.
as a meta point, would you call him Bahamut or Fizban?
Fizban.
Right? It's that sort of concept. But if he comes up as a platinum dragon in front of you, hello, Bahamut, sir.
It's funny, I just started reading, not Autumn Twilight, the second one, the Winter, what's it called?
Oh, Winter's Night.
Winter's
Dragon
Night, yeah.
Double Night.
Just
You're like, not Twilight, like, about vampires? What?
Yeah, I guess it's just
What, you jump on Midnight Sun or something? Check the alternate view now?
Took me a second to process that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just like this, very clear on the stream that I'm not reading Twilight, okay? I refuse.
It's all good, bud. The first Blu-ray I bought for my PS3 back in the day when they all first came out was the Twilight movie, the second one, I think. I didn't want it to be my first Blu-ray, but I picked up my PS3 and it was like 30 plus degrees that day, and I'm downtown Halifax and I'm waiting for a bus and it's like 45 minutes. So I go to a corner store nearby. It's one of those dirt cheap in the hole in the wall corner stores. I go in, I get myself a bottle of Coke for $3. I mean, for a little 250 milliliter, and this was that many years ago, so you know how bad I got ripped off. And I look on the shelf behind him, and there's a whole bunch of Blu-rays for like $10, and I see Twilight, the new one that just came out, for $10, and I'm like, well, my girlfriend absolutely loves. I'll take that, buddy. He goes, do you want more than one? I'm trying to get rid of them. I did not mean to buy them. So it was a win-win for my girlfriend. For me, not so much. Now my wife, but you know, back then, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Good times. So that was my first Blu-ray, was a Twilight. I'll tip my hat, though, to this series. It's definitely, for what it is, it's a great series. Let me not be my cup of tea, but I'll tip my hat. It's a good series. And I mean, unfortunately, it seems to have survived better than Harry Potter, thanks to all the crap going on there. Oh my god, makes me sad. That's my childhood, man. Gotta love the books still. Gotta love the
It's
books.
easy because Stephanie Meyer started out problematic, so then we kind of knew what we were getting into.
Right.
Whereas J.K. Rowling, like, slowly kind of revealed herself over time and, you know, just tagged things on to make them canon after years after the books anyway.
Yeah.
At least we knew what Stephanie Meyer was when we started.
The worst one, though, is when they get JK, she goes, well, I never said Hermione was any specific race. And it's like, look, I got nothing against anybody playing anyone, but right here in the book you did. You gotta know what you wrote, lady.
She's just ridiculous.
That being
She's
said,
ridiculous. That's all I can say about J.K. Rowling. Ridiculous.
it's a little true. That being said, if I'm watching the movies on Broadway and I see, like, a freckled hair redhead playing Hermione, or they switch it up and they take someone who's got skin as of exceptionally dark skin or anything like that, she could be straight from anywhere. I couldn't care so long as they can act and do a good job.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me at all. So long as they can personify the character and bring them out. You got to have that facial structure. Like, it's like someone's like, all right, we're going to get a Harry Potter, and they get me to do it. Someone my size. You're going to be like, no. You'd be a Crabbe or Goyle. It's like, hey. Oh, my word. At least I don't say Dursley. Oh, but I've gone on a tangent here. It's hard when you love books like this so much. It is.
Alan, you could probably be a good Neville.
I'd make a decent Neville.
Aw, that's a good compliment.
Thank you, John.
You are a Neville. You're
Yeah.
such a Neville.
I was almost a hero, but then I got ripped off due to bad luck. That's how it goes. Oh, Sandy speaks up behind me. Hagrid. And I'm like, oh, honey. That melts my heart a little. Hagrid's the sweetest.
I think physically I'd pull off the best Hagrid. Meant like personality, I don't think I'm the best Hagrid.
Well, unless you've
You
shaved
do-
in the last month, you do have the beard.
Do you like animals though, John?
I do
Yeah.
like animals. You're not wrong.
Yeah, you make a great Hagrid. Okay, so we know I'm Neville. John's Hagrid. Trying to think now. Trying to find a good one for Dan would probably be the twins.
Yes.
I can't give him either one. You're too clever, man, so you get both.
Yeah, that's good. Then I would.
If you say so, I've never watched movies or read book.
Oh, you're missing out. The twins were the older brothers to one of the main characters, and they were both troublemakers, but not in the bad sense. They ended up opening a joke shop together where they sold pranks and toys and stuff like that for people, and they were stupid awesome. Some of the best characters in the whole story.
Died.
One of them died after the other one got his ear lopped off because I can't hear you. It's like, that's the best joke you could make, brother. Oh, but yeah, you definitely miss out. They're definitely the good reference there for that one. But I'll take a Neville. Yeah, pull a victory out of nowhere, draw the sword out the hat. I'll whoop your ass. Part of me doesn't want to call anyone Harry Potter though, because even though he was the main character and he was cool little dude, at the same time you just sort of watch him like, come on.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just want to point out, how different would the books be if Hermione wasn't there?
Oh, they'd all be dead.
Many times over.
There's that rewrite, all the different titles with Hermione as the lead. Like, it's...
Yeah.
Oh, she's the best. Dang, she's good. I'm so happy she ends up, I think, Minister of Magic in the end, they said in the long future.
I don't remember, honestly.
It has to be, though. It's Hermione. She's the best.
Yeah.
Like, I was a little boy reading those books when they came out around the same age as Harry. And even as I'm reading through, I'm just like, this Hermione, she's the best ever. I love her. She's the best. Oh my god, she's so amazing. Read Harry, it's like, how are you so dumb compared to her? You sure you're good in battle, but oh my god, she's so smart. I loved it. They did a really good job personifying that when I was a kid, and there was none of that for me. I was like, perfect. Hermione's the best. Forget Harry. Oh my god. But yeah, gone on a long tangent. Back to the room itself, which is full of random things. As you can see, a pretty place where the nations came together and would have made the future dealings. Quite possibly the single greatest thing you could ever hope to see is personified in this room, and that is peace. There was no war. There was no longer fighting. People were making bounds and boundary lines, but
there is no war, right? Sing.
Yes, this is essentially Basse Sing. There is no war in Basse Sing. So the enforcers are now called Judies. Oh my god. What have I done?
Alright.
I want to respec into a Wave of 4 Elements monk.
I think you can do it. I'll allow it. I put the sombrero on. I'll allow it.
Oh, man. It's sad that the thing closest to Avatar is like pretty ropey subclass.
Yeah. There's a lot of wonky subclasses that don't get used. Like, look at the monk. Almost all of them. Or the ranger. Almost all of them.
Alright, I will go to wherever, I guess, is there a spot for half-elves, or is it elves and humans?
There is, right here in front of the green gem on this scroll. Now, I will say these scrolls are sealed shut, and each one, as you can see, has a gem set on top of it. These beautiful things here that I'm spinning around. That have probably caught Dan's eye, because Jade's probably staring at the jade that's in front of your character.
So, I'm picking a half-elf spot because I'm just wondering if, like, there's like some kind of, you can't look at this unless you are XYZ. And I'm just gonna reach a hand out and see if the enforcers are like eyeballing me as I reach towards it.
As you sit down, and as your friends enter the room as well, you notice the enforcer's visions shift between the group of you, repeatedly watching each. Though, as Alec takes a seat in the one designated for half-elves, you'd notice the little blue jar in front of yourself on the center of the table beginning to glow softly. A small circular button on top jettons up slightly. And since you're this close, I will point out you can now see the little gem on top of that scroll, on close inspection, carries a magical rune inside of it, seemingly suspended inside of the crystal, depicting a symbol for the half-elf race. Elven race entirely on its own, in fact, a creed to bind all. The other gems are similar in that they have a singular symbol representing the race who would sit there as well. Easily, due to that very beautiful nature, exceptionally pristine cut, and magical influence that the crystal has, they'd easily fetch 500 gold a pop, maybe 2,000 gold a pop.
Which one's the gnome?
I'll let you pick a chair. There's a stool beside it, but bum. But only pick the green one for the first person to request that. Outside of that, you can pick any chair you want that comes with any form of color that you want. Well, for what I have listed here.
Sorry, can I take a look at this like carpet and see, like, I'm not as good at detecting traps as like Jade, but like if I step on it to investigate the pedestal, like, do I get the impression that I might be putting myself at danger?
Naira cracks her neck side to side, walks over onto the carpet, walks across it, walks back off, gives a nod. This wasn't nothing. Felt nice under your toes, similar to a tatami mat, very much made out of bamboo wood and put together. And the books on the shelves and the shelving in this room are all, as well, in immaculate condition. It would seem this room carries one of those standard wards in order to prevent decay over time. But no ill effects as your character looms over the glass, sealing away that book. Nimbar takes a seat, of course, and same similar thing happens here with this. You know Bellamy is trying every chair she can right now, and nothing's happening since her character's not technically here at the moment. So I'm going to put her in the captain's chair.
do we press the button, guys?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to decide where to see what the button does, or try reading the scroll. So if you want to press the button, I'll try.
Alright.
Scroll.
Button.
Hovering a hand over the button and pushing down, you hear a clicking, but nothing else happens.
Oh god. And when I let go of the button?
Nothing. It remains depressed, mind you, but nothing else seems to happen.
I wonder if it's just like an attendance thing, like, you know.
Or I may have voted for something.
That's true.
And just to confirm that the enforcers did literally nothing when I did this.
Simply looking from person to person, watching the room.
Okay. Alright. Well, Nimbar took one risk. I'll take one and see if I can read the scroll. I guess I should take a look at the gem first and see if I think it's gonna explode or something like that, I guess.
Your perception check from earlier isn't triggering you anything odd about these scrolls at all. You could always try investigation, which gets very hands-on, of course. You know, taking the gem, slipping the scroll open, that sort of stuff.
I could definitely try. I'll guide myself and then...
Mind you, you can't just go with opening the scroll and take a look at it first. Investigation is, let me put my Sokka glasses on and take 20 minutes with this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the last time I picked up a handful of dirt, I got us into a big fight, so I'm probably feeling a little bit like, I should be careful this time. But I do have very poor investigation, so I could end up just opening it anyway. Let's see. I guess I'll roll a d4 for guidance as well. It might be a little bit better. Right, 17. Not the worst.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go with it. You put the Sokka glasses on at that last second with guidance, like, oh, what is this? And toss a pair on. I say the joke because, you know, those ones with all the goggles, but I can't find a picture of it on Google. I'll leave that up to John. He might already be looking for me.
I wasn't, but...
With all that being said, as you open the scroll and spread it out, It's little more than a declaration stating that they will be part of the Union, signing over rights and etc. towards the greater whole. Very generic in its design, but quite binding in legality. Essentially a treaty between the elven people and Kintyre. This one, however, is dated quite some time ago, some 20 years prior. It would seem that they were one of the first to join this great coalition. There's mention in there that there was a mighty dragon of sapphire scales, claiming to be a thane of Sardior. It drove the other dragons together on the continent where the elves called home and pushed them out, which led originally to a war. Then there's note that a single soldier, originally from the kingdom of Blackrock, now called the kingdom of Kintyre as they switched around, stood against this dragon in an impossible fight, beat them into the ground, and rode them back to a middle of a war between the elves and humans. Landing in the middle, they brokered peace not just between the elves and the humans, but between the dragons as well, as they all bowed their head. But the mighty sapphire dragon, after fighting with this human, was never seen again, seemingly disappeared from the world. On that note, there's a seat at these tables for dragons.
Does that story that's we found out that a thane offered itself to Straken / Sardior to like reunite like the what they call it, the fragments of him. Do we find, is that sounds like kind of like a similar story?
Most likely that's the overlap.
Right. Okay. Well, Flux, I don't know if it's entirely appropriate, but you seem the most likely candidate for sitting in the dragon spot.
I'll sit there.
Flux casually walks over, flops down in a chair. Her luck running well today, as, of course, a single piece rises up from the canister in front of her as well.
I guess I'm wondering if like the treaties are the same, or if the half elven one detailed that part about their war. I wonder if every treaty details another part of the history.
Having fun spinning that thing, don't mind me.
I noticed that was the little giggle I had. I'll pick up mine and read mine.
The
I assume you.
gnomes. Oh, sorry, what was that?
Sorry, I was gonna say I assume I still have a scroll, even though it doesn't really look like there's one there.
Oh, there is. There's one right over here. I mean, this scroll here saying, "Don't forget me. I'm right here, buddy." The halflings and the gnomes share a written history at this point. They were one of the absolute last races to join, but this wasn't due to any specific reason. Their kingdoms itself were mostly uninvolved with a lot of the strife and political conflict that came up. It was an object of opportunity in the end. There's a note here that after the elves found peace, the orcs were beaten, the dwarfs were basically tricked, but eventually came to enjoy what they liked. They were tried to usurp power, as they like to do, but it backfired tremendously, and they ended up signing over all of their power. Little more is written on that in this area. You'd probably have to read the archives for the dwarves to see exactly what happened to them. But for the gnomes, one of the absolute last, they were sought out for membership due to their exquisite capacities with magic and construction, along with the halflings and a few other races like that matter, who all came together, offered a seat at the table for little more than the prosperity of the world and peace in general. There is a note, it took a good 5 years to broker this deal, however. Unlike the other treaties, which were born out of strife and war, this one was born from a moment of peace, a hand held out in friendship, and slowly accepted by the gnomes.
That's right. No, gnomes come from peace. Don't need all your war.
After all the war was said and done, the coalition basically sought them out because, well, if there's going to be a world with everyone working together, they want everyone at the table. There's a strong underlying fact of peace and prosperity among all. The DM might go so far as to say it was a utopia.
I'm getting kind of like Federation vibes.
There was too much peace in the end, that's why the gods destroyed the world. They're like, damn it, this is Dungeons and Dragons, not Star Trek. Well, that may not actually be far off from the truth.
What? Wait, you mean with all this peace, people aren't worshipping the gods anymore? They're doing science? What is this? Meteors now!
Nuke the world. Well, there are other scrolls that are available to read. Flux has one in front of her, along with a button jetting up if she wanted to give it a push.
Yeah, I'll go for it.
You push your button down, which gives a click. And remind me, did Alec push his down?
Not yet.
I didn't
I
think.
read the scroll first.
Just wanted to make sure. Jillian has no trouble with Flux taking the gem off. You notice it's actually something very peculiar for yours. It's not a true garnet. You've heard of such a rarity before, but glancing it over, it appears to be a solid chunk of ruby with a single pitch of raw fire burning white hot inside of the gem. But it's still quite cool to the touch.
I'll tell them what I saw. What I see. Should I touch it?
Oh, if you want.
Yeah, I'll touch it.
No effect as you pick the gem up. Seems cool to the touch. You do feel somewhat empowered, however, as what you are actually holding is a scale from Sardior himself. The character almost realizes this holding it, and you get advantage on your next attack roll from the empowerment from this one piece.
Interesting. Tell them that. Is there a scroll too, you said?
Yep.
Does it say?
Glancing through it, you can see that the Draconian race had no interest in working with who they viewed for the longest time as those who were beneath them, those who were smaller than them, weaker than them, until their greatest champion was born among them. They pledged their eternal, undying, unending loyalty to Sardior and nothing else. Their conscription, as it should rightfully be called, to Kintyre, comes only out of respect for who they call the Lord of all Draconian kind.
I will report that back to the group nervously.
Every race of dragon you've ever heard of, from the metallics to the chromatics to the gem dragons and beyond, some you've never heard, fey dragons, ghost dragons, and a whole bunch of others, all agreed to this in the end after witnessing their power firsthand in combat. Because the dragons themselves had a plan. They wanted to conquer a continent and return it to the way that their world was, under the guide of their Thane, the Sapphire Dragon. They had a very simple goal. They sought to annex mortals from the world, to destroy it and roll it back, to recreate their original home. That was their ultimate goal under the Thane of Sardior. Their only mission was to destroy everything. But upon his revival, as it truly was, his views had changed. He believed that there was a place for society, for mortals, and for all things to live hand in hand and side by side, despite what's happened to him, what's happened to the world around him. And he convinced the dragons to fight on his side for this ideal future that they all can share. Under Sardior's name, they decided to do this and abandon their original plans to utterly destroy the world and turn it back to the first world.
So this is...
As didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, I don't really know what I'm gonna say besides I feel slightly guilty
Is there
in
any
case whatever went
mention
wrong.
of the obsidian dragons on that document? Did they sign, or are they noticeably absent?
I'll check and see if I see any mention.
Well, it goes into great detail on the Thanes, as it explains that the Thanes themselves once were fought against by a brave group of heroes. And then it says to read Appendix A37, which is a book contained in the library.
I'll go look for it.
Wait, no, you mean the library that doesn't have any books anymore?
Yup.
Oh,
Because-
damn. I thought you meant the books that were in the room.
There may be further information in the books on the shelves, but it would take much longer to search through them. Glancing a few, they are repeats that you've seen in the library, so there may be information there. Because it does mention all 5 Thanes were the parts of Sardior. It mentions a 6th Thane, but this was not a shard of Sardior's essence. The Obsidian Thane was a creation, but no further information is given in the scroll. Only the 5 Thanes are truly mentioned as being pieces of Sardior brought back together under the guise of the Sapphire form. And Jillian's on a quick be right back. Once she's back, I'll let her decide if she wants to go searching through the books or and all that. Plus, there is mention, as I had said, originally, a group of powerful heroes were standing up against the Thane and their mighty horde of dragons that attempted to conquer the world. But little more is mentioned against them. Once peace was found through Sardior's revival, there's no more points mentioned about these heroes, not their victories, not their defeats.
Does it say, like, the races, like, anything about the heroes? Or just mention them as heroes?
You would assume, judging by the wordings, that they came from various races. Almost like looking a little bit into a mirror of yourself, a group of people just happening to be doing the better thing at the best times. But no further info's in the one on the dragons for that.
Yeah.
Okay. I think in the meantime, Alec, feeling left out, would click the button in front of him and then maybe sidle up to the human or elven spot at the table, maybe thinking that because he's a half elf he can get away with it, just see if the thing reacts in the same manner, but
Welcome
then
back, Jillian.
just try and read their treaty as well.
As you sit in the chair for humanoid, It does indeed react. Post popping up.
Okay.
Reading through their documents. Oh, sorry?
I was just going to say I wasn't going to press that button straight away, but I'll read first.
Alrighty. And Jillian, I'd mentioned if you wanted to have Flux go read through books, she could try to find among the books on the shelves if there's any reference to either the band of heroes that was briefly mentioned fighting against the Dragonkind, or any other information you were looking up, like the Sixth Thane, to try to figure out who they are.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
So
I don't really know what else I could help with at the moment anyway.
In all honesty, it's a time investment of just going through and reading them. As you walk over to the shelf and you pull one book off and you look over and you see one of the enforcers staring at you, who doesn't do anything, thankfully. As you start thumbing through notes on how to set up council meetings, how to be a better leader, talking to people 101, charisma, and you know. You start flipping through these various books, but we'll get back to that after we round the table a bit more for other things.
Actually, Nimber's also going to go over and start peeking at the books in the bookshelf.
But you gotta be looking for something specific as you're searching.
Looking for, like, notes about, like, either the dragons or the hero. See if he can find anything.
As you all sit at the table, relaxing, reading over the notes on humans are some of the oldest. In fact, the scroll's a little bit worn from being opened. It's been rewritten on a few times, amendments made here and there as other races have stepped in. Words that were not nearly so inclusive, opening up and becoming more inclusive to others and other races and other peoples. But mostly it states a history you've already seen, at least a little bit in your dreams. That there was a great war, and a single knight continued to rise up in the arms. No matter what thrown against them, they would not buckle. Their legendary tale starts as they saved a town called Razor from certain doom. A single heroic knight standing against an entire army, holding off until the dawn, earning him the name Twilight's Hero. Shortly thereafter, he took down the king of the orcs in one-on-one combat, having burst into their kingdom solo, snuck his way to the king's chamber and basically kicked the crap out of the guy, leaving him live rather than killing him, in order to maintain a certain degree of control and leadership over the orcs. And this continues, as you know. They moved to the other continent at this point to stop the dragon, as the elves were invading human territory. In doing so, there's mention that they met up with a band of heroes. At least that's what they called themselves, in order to assist slaying the great sapphire dragon. The rest repeats more information that you've already seen from the other races, people coming together and time moving on. But one interesting note that's made is that during the war, the previous king had made a single request, which has been noted down, and which paved the way for the democracy people hold true to now, or at least tried to hold. The king had no heirs, and the king had no prospects, and was very old, very near their deathbed. In the midst of this great war, they went to this great warrior that they had and asked them to extend their life, but only until the war was completed. Then, after that point, if death should wish for the king, so be it. Though hesitant, the request was granted, and the king's life was extended unnaturally until the war came to a fitting close. And in a moment where everyone thought he would never relinquish power, the king happily passed the crown on to his greatest knight, who had single-handedly brought peace to the realms, before the king himself drifted away that same evening, what remained of their life already exhausted. And in the king's honor and their selflessness, it was decided that the position would be one that's voted on based off the members of the council every 4 years, unanimously for the last 20 since he is led. And as near as you can tell, reading over these documents, They seem to be honest and genuine. No tricks, no usurping of power from the king. Other notes seem to reinforce this. Something you've probably never seen among the humans. Honesty.
Yeah.
And beyond that, there's some mention to a group of retainers who were picked up off the other continent during the Great Dragon War, as they called it, who had since joined the crown directly as high-ranked soldiers, helping to keep the peace. So Dan, Jade taking a seat anywhere?
I don't know.
And Dean, Alec gonna push that button?
I'll throw that one to the group. Do you want me to?
Well, nothing bad's happened so far. Why would we expect something to change?
Always press the button.
Okay, so Alec will press the human button, and then he'll move on to the elven part, and then I'll say, by the way, this is the last chair I'll probably be comfortable in, so I don't know what to do after this.
And giving a press, you don't see anything happen, as the buttons both slide down with 4 of them now depressed.
I kind of want to run around, sit in all the chairs, press all the buttons. Seems like a really bad idea.
Yeah. Actually, there's the chance that maybe I might be able to do the half-orc one as well, because they might be part human, but I might be pushing it.
Well, the chair immediately to Nimbar's right is for constructs.
If only we had them on drone.
Let's just fly this here.
You know that thing doesn't interact with nothing.
Yeah.
So it's just floating around,
Yeah.
doing its thing.
Yeah.
I give you eye in the sky with that thing. Oh, but unfortunately, as it floats into this chair and lowers down, nothing seems to happen. The
I didn't
manifest
really
mind not
expect it
triggered.
to.
I pick a seat at random and sit down.
As Jade drops a seat down into a chair in front of himself, he notices the wordings on it are for the giant races. The chair itself extra comfy and a little more well-insulated and well-sized, but as you do, the little pot in front of your character, and I'm gonna say, you know what, since it's giants, I'm putting you right at the head of the table for that one, right up here. Oh, yay. As you sit down, of course, the small dish in front of you, as soon as I can grab it, there we go, rises up as well, with a single button pushed up.
I see how it is. The big people on the front, low people in the back. I see how it is.
I'll open the scroll and see if I can read it.
Slipping the scroll open, you see the giants were a race that came in very near to the end. However, their introduction into the group required more precision, or more... They had to be convinced. Oh my god, I can't get the word out, don't mind me. Persuasion, there we go. Required a more persuasive touch than the norm. They were very xenophobic and hesitant to joining with anyone for any reason. But that didn't stop an attempt from being made. It's mentioned a group of 5 powerful adventurers who had rose up in ranks and importance after the Dragon Wars, joining with the king, made their way to the giants' land. Unlike many others, theirs was a campaign of battle by the end, forcing the giants to submit through victory. There seems to be some distaste left in the giants' favor for this, as they did not appreciate it. And you feel, even reading over, that maybe diplomacy could have been an easier option at this point. But for some reason, these battle-hardened adventurers decided to go the rough way through it with the giants. Regardless, they were joined with this team.
Press the button.
As Jade pushes the button down, the fifth button down that gets pushed flat, the glass case in the south of the room slowly opens up, folding backwards, revealing the book underneath.
Nimbar's gonna go look at the book.
Nimbar's busy looking at other books on the shelf right now. Ha ha ha.
So
He'd be
the glass
halfway
thing was
through
complete.
reading as it opens.
Yeah, I'd probably put the book back and go look at this one, because this one...
It's a bigger, shinier book.
Yeah. It's a bigger, shinier book. I mean, it's now available when it hadn't been before. Something tells me I'm going to get more out of it than the other.
It's like a book that's on a long wait list at the library. You're like, it must be good.
I mean, you can always drop your book and just go give that one a read, but don't get me
As
wrong.
I said, I put the other one back and then I went over it.
And giving a glance through the other book as you walk over and pick it up, the cover itself is designed immaculately. Actually, if anybody remembers Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 and the book covers that they made for those, how they almost looked like they were covered in gems if you had the real thing, that's sort of what they've done with this book. They've gone straight crazy with it. Solid rubies make up the face of the dragon on the front of it, each one carved to perfection. As you pick it up and flip through the book, you notice the pages are all entirely blank, except for the first one. A simple creed, pointing towards all people and all things working together. The remaining pages would have been nothing more than meeting notes kept by someone as they went through. Unfortunately, those meetings never happened, and now it just remains an immaculate book with infinite pages. As you spin through and do, you know, when you hold the book up and you flip the pages with your thumb, it never ends with this one. They just keep going and going and going.
Well, that's a little disappointing.
So they must need X amount of council members present to have a meeting.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Is there like some of the rooms have had like a nameplate almost like saying what they are. Is there like a nameplate on this wall saying like executive bathroom or something like that?
Service tunnel. That's all that it says.
Oh, so
And there's wordings on the other door.
sure. I'll see what this one says.
Covered in dust, hard to make out, but with a quick swipe of your hand, you can see that it says Southeastern Crystal Room. Rather, Void Crystal Storage, but Southeastern Void Crystal Storage.
Crystal storage is unguarded. Service tunnel is guarded. Right.
My guess is service tunnel is easy access to the crystal. Enter through that door, and it's
Yeah.
harder access to the crystal.
Yep.
Anyone else just really want to go through the hard door?
Well-
Like the one being guarded.
I'm thinking there must be like some kind of like, oh, I'm maintenance, I need past kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
like a badge or something. Can I wonder, would Siri know?
I will ask, yeah.
Sorry, specifically what? Help the DM out here. I slipped on that a little.
No worries.
No, it's okay.
If there's any kind of if you can acquire any kind of clearance to get through into the service tunnel.
Nothing coming up on Siri. Nothing about any degree of passing in there.
Well, before we go, let's go look at Salvador. Like, look at the stuff on his.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit in this chair.
Grabbing a comfy seat in the boss's chair. You hear fanfare. No, I'm just kidding. Had to do it just one time. Nothing seems to happen, but it's a very comfortable chair. Heavy as the head that wears the crown, I suppose.
Yeah, and this open scroll, is there anything on it?
Like I say, just a record of meetings and a general creed, but the record of meetings itself only lists a preparation for the first one, which never came to pass.
Oh, I suppose I could cast Detect Magic, because I suspect, like, this mirror glasses might have something, so I'm gonna start doing that. It takes me 10 minutes if anyone wants to do something in the meantime.
I'm just gonna keep flipping through the books, see if I can find anything, the appendix, or anything else useful.
I got something fun for you in a minute, Jillian. Don't worry. I'll be sending you a DM with it.
Ooh, okay.
I guess I'll follow in my thought. I'll look on the bookshelves for any kind of like operations manual or procedure kind of thing, like see if it details how to gain access to various parts of the city, just to see if we can maybe find something that makes it a little bit more or a little bit less destructive, I guess.
Alrighty. Well, searching through the books overall is going to take about 45 more minutes. I can always skip the time forward. Unless, Dan, you got something up your sleeve you were planning.
Not really.
Jade's just waiting for things to go south in here.
Well, I'm kind of sort of the, open this lock, do this trap related thing. Hey, what's this skill monkey? This is more brain power. I leave that to the smarter ones.
Alrighty. So, what information do you find as you search through? Let's start with the instruction manual first, however. Because as Alec takes a look through, wondering, I typoed, don't mind me. As Alex takes a look through, after another 45 minutes goes by, and Jade's probably relaxing with a nice drink and a sandwich at this point, given that the table in front of him is such a nice place to eat, you do see notations that there is a central defensive mechanism, a horrendous design of incredible power and rage, forged by Straken himself with no further information given. However, glancing through this book, your character begins to see something different, a vision of the past striking out, grasping at his mind, tied to the book and to the memories. Maybe all those step-ins with Mad Maggie looking into your own future has expanded your character's vision now that you see the stars in 20 levels worth. But you could pull a wisdom ability check if you wanted to try to reach into this vision, to see the past for what it was. To see what weapon you might have to stop against.
Okay. Alright. Wisdom, you said?
Wisdom ability check, straight up. Does your character have the power? And you can add on your proficiency bonus to that.
Alright, so Oh. Oh damn! I had inspiration. I should have said. Gods. With my proficiency, it would be 16, I think, with proficiency.
With a 16, your character is able to access the vision from the past as your eyes drift over. Now, mind you, this is willing. You can say, nah, I don't want it, but your character can watch it if you want.
In for a penny, in for a pound, as they say.
Alrighty. As your character's eyes slowly gloss over, as you look towards the past from so very long ago, you find yourself standing in the halls of Kintyre. A beautiful, brilliant hallway, lined with ivory and pillars. As you're looking, you see two angelic beings charging forward, badly injured. One of them, the other seemingly fine, commanding officer as it would. They make their way towards what appears to be a large glass wall, and behind it, you almost think it's obsidian for a moment before the black ooze starts to shift and move. Like a pool of broken glass mixed with water, it shimmers and breaks beyond your vision like nothing you've ever seen. And as they approach the glass wall, they come to a stop as a voice echoes out that should they take another step forward, they'll wish they were burning in Avernus. However, that doesn't deter these angels. In the midst of their attack, in the midst of their combat, they push onward against the force before them. In a brave and bold attempt, they step forward, and your character's brain itself feels a rocking sensation, as if ripped through the very space of time itself. The room lurches, and you see one of the angels lying dead on the floor, the second standing. As you now realize your vision has shifted and you're seeing from someone else's eyes from behind the angel. Looking down, you see a fist tear through the torso, outward through the other side. Unable to see what this form's coming from, as it seems to be the vision you're sharing at this moment. The angel chokes out last words of insults, telling him it's already too late for Kintyre, that it didn't have enough power to move, and that they've broken one of the support pillars. And you'll have nowhere to go now but straight to hell. The angel laughs as it passes on, as Kintyre shifts and twists and teleports through the ether. Through the void it goes, and Titania it lands, as the vision slowly fades. But whatever that monstrosity was, it seems to have some powerful control over time-space. Whatever defensive mechanism Straken's left behind for you all to deal with is certainly deadly. I will mention, when time lurched forward, when that fist was through the angel's chest, they didn't appear to have moved a step, as if they too felt the same lurch, but that obsidian pool in that brief instant was gone. Somehow related to whatever defensive mechanism was left behind.
Once Alec gets his bearings back, does a bit of a head shake and a couple of breaths, so he'll pass on that information to everyone. I wonder if it said the obsidian dragons were weren't fragments of Sardur, but they were a construct if he made them to guard the city. And if it's been weaponized somehow to act outside of the city.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell John what he sees too, while I send Jillian a quick message. You go ahead and give that a read, Jillian. It's a fun one. A nice little typo. And John, as your character reads through the notations, looking up information, you find a string of a grasp on those heroes I mentioned. A ragtag group of adventurers originally. They certainly did stand against the forces that threatened to crush the world. They were found during the Great Dragon Wars and helped to defeat the mighty Sapphire Dragon, holding off hordes of dragons long enough for Straken to deal with the beast. They were instrumental to this peace, and for that they received accommodations, rankings, rewards, before moving onward in their own campaigns as their life continued onward. Ultimately, however, as their power grew, a note was made that so did their infighting, their arguments among each other. Their greed for power truly became something that worried Straken. In the end of one book, you see written a note in blood, however, calling them treacherous dogs, and blaming the fall of Kintyre partially on their greed. Unfortunately, little more information is found than that, seeming footnote made in the last moments of this city.
I wonder what they did. And just to confirm, there's no description of who the heroes
Things
are.
make sense now, Alan. I see what you did there.
Aha! I just dropped some plot on Jillian's head. That's up to you, even if you share us that last bit of information with the party.
It was very fitting that I was the one who found this. I can just read it. Do you guys want to hear what Flux found?
Yes.
Okay.
And while she's reading, I'm going to grab a drink. Just in case I'm slow to respond.
The sixth Thane, beyond the normal guise of a dragon, was the representation of desire. Sardir, stronger than any other dragon, wished for one thing we all seek: companionship. He spoke to death itself and asked for the help of this powerful being, and from Sardir's own flesh was rendered his equal and opposite, the obsidian dragon. Powerful, strategic, and incredibly strong, the obsidian dragon was nearly untouchable in her might. Sardior's other half was forged and his heart complete. But Sardior's need for companionship opened the door for the gods to step into the first world, his dealing with death weakening the bond between worlds and allowing the gods to attack. Sardior, unable to risk losing his heart, set her aside from the world itself, placing her essence in the void between worlds, before bringing himself before the gods. The wrath could have burned worlds, but he went to the gods with hands held out, asking for peace and kindness. He was met with trickery and deceit, and the gods took advantage of his kindness to tear his essence apart, forging their world over the first world. His dear obsidian Thane, the progenitor of the name, allowed him to anchor his essence to the void, and he was not lost. By the love he shared with Cerdis, his resurrection was assured.
Okay.
So,
Wait, say that name again?
Cerdis.
Alex's eyes look towards your sword.
Yeah.
As I've said, 6 Thanes, and all of their names have long since been said.
Ha. Okay. Well, right. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Plot twist, she's going to be furious, and the person that's going to be revived is going to be really furious.
I took most of this plot from a line from the Forgotten Realms fandom for Sardior. I'll throw it in the handout. They give a lot of this up to make it up as you go, but this is my take on it, so you know.
You know, like, guys, like, obviously we're against this because our world will be wiped out, but at the same time, God's kinda
Give them the right. Yeah.
I know, kind of fucked them.
you know, kind of had this coming. If only there was a way to not have what untold trillions of people die across every multiverse.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
Well, technically, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
It's already gone.
jeez, you know, say what you like about nature, but trees and grass don't do any of this shit. Maybe it's sentient beings that are the problem.
And hopefully I've given John more questions than answers now.
Okay. So is Negadust the resurrected form? And this is his vengeance.
So because of his bond to the void, you can see now why a Straken Cavor is repeatedly born in every world, in every time, in every place. In every D&D game I've ever run for the last 25 years.
Oof.
Oh, seriously?
Run,
Oh,
Steve.
seriously. This is a long-running plot. I'll tell you what, I'll give away one last piece. This is a little bit meta, but you pretty much got all the info. The adventurers I reference, they were the last ones to get this far, and when they got to about level 19-20 infighting back in the old edition of D&D, they all wanted to be a god, but no one wanted the other players to be a god, and they all got each other killed off, which led to the fall of Kintyre.
Oh, Jesus. I think this group had the opposite. It was like, I want to be God, you should be God. No, I don't want to be God, you should be God. Absolutely not.
Well, let's be honest. You can see Nimbar. Okay, I'll do it, guys. I'll do it.
Maybe. Well,
Yeah.
I can see Bellamy saying, "Sure, I'll be a god." And I'm like,
Bellamy's like the one person no one wants to be God. Not that she's a bad person. It's just, what the fuck would happen to the world? No one would know.
Meanwhile, Jade's already setting up his domain, saying, "Don't worry, guys, I got this."
No, Jade's setting up to make Lulu the god.
That's
One who deserves it.
yeah, it's what she deserves.
She'd be the most benevolent. You can see it now. She'd just be sitting there. Well, all I want is some Twinkies and a nice bottle of pop. You bring me that as an offering? We're good, buddy. We're good. I bless you after that. Oh, yo. Oh.
A paladin of Lulu. I could mesh with that. One tenant, be nice. Or, because if you're not, you're going to get a stomping.
Two tenants. Be nice, and look out for your friends always.
I miss Lulu.
Well, I did my absolute best. I miss playing Lulu. She's fun. But if I had her, she'd be dead by now. Like, one of those rooms, she'd be like, I'm running into battle. Dead. And then the team would really hate me. Right now, you
Yeah.
got a Digi-Lulu.
We would have cast Revivify or Resurrection probably like 20 times by now if she was with us.
She'd be partially traumatized. She'd look at Jade, be like, "He says he wants to play Jenga with you next time. Be careful. He's getting very good, buddy." Oh.
Because you know, no way would we ever let her stay dead.
Well, I hope this room has provided a good chunk of the answers you were all looking for the last pieces of plot. And I hope, Jillian, my long con with your sword paid off. I told you it was originally a Mighty Dragon's Fang.
I was wondering.
I figured if there was any force that would keep one being going despite the fact that they lose over and over and over again, it'd be love. I'm sappy like that.
What is all this sentiment I'm hearing?
It's Dad now. He can't help it. He's full of all the gushy hormones.
Well, I can say them out loud now, but this was always the plan. Like,
No, I know.
it's like I said, I finally get to the end game, and Wizards of the Coast is like, "Here's all the books you need, Alan," and it's like, "Oh my god, thank you." My original plan was a little more wonky. It makes more sense now with this stuff. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast. Well, I don't have too many more secrets or information left to be found in this room. You've pretty much plugged it dry, as one would say. You've got all the info on what's happened to the past that's led to these moments. Except the crucial reason of what's happened at the very end to put Sardior on the path he's presently on.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the gods are dicks.
Kind of see where he's coming from, yeah. Like, jeez, it's really, it does feel quite odd, interesting. It's like, I think it'd be different if any of us were, well, Jade's a cleric. I wonder if he's making all of this now. He's got a divine connection. Because up until then, he multi-class. None of us really. We're almost like a neutral party. Almost.
Well, I'm gonna have the owl sitting on your character's shoulder look you dead in the eyes as you get the voice from it. Hey, boss. Good thing Rodman's not with us anymore. That poor paladin, he'd have himself a whole crisis of fate right now, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately, he retired to El Terrell.
Maybe, it's a good thing. I don't know if he would, how he would process that. Jeez. If Nilkrates is still here.
Yeah.
Isn't Bellamy 10 levels a cleric?
Yeah.
That's true.
But this Bellamy we're talking about, you'd probably look at this and go, "Oh, those crazy gods." I don't know.
Yeah.
She's a wild card.
I definitely see the 10 levels of Bard cleric.
Yeah. I believe her deity is actually just music itself.
I pray to fun. Well, you can't. Yeah, you can't just be a cleric of a concept in 5th edition, I suppose. You don't need.
Yeah.
Which is weird, I think.
Cleric of love.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that for her, just for the theme with what came up in today's game. So you know.
Yeah.
Cleric of hatred.
Well, I tried to keep the name of that 6th dragon hidden for as long as I could, so hat tip to you, Jillian. I'm giving a point of inspiration to the team for figuring that one out.
I already have inspiration.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think we all do.
It's,
I think he gave it out to everyone at the end of last game.
I
Even better.
actually used mine because I wanted lore.
There you go.
So I actually get it. Yay!
man. You must have been just having a little giggle to yourself, Alan. And you're like, who's the 6th dragon? Or who's the 6th? And you're like, you already know.
Honest to God, I thought John was going to be like, I think I know who it is, because I thought he might have looked up Sarades, and I'd be like, damn. He may have, I don't know. He might have been super quiet this whole time. But if I managed to pull a fast one on him, I'm happy.
I did not. I was good.
There isn't too much more that you'll find in the lore or anything that'll break any of the game at this point. So if you do any reading, it's going to be pretty much fine. Fizban's Treasury of Dragons or general information on Sardior and all that. Feel free. It's one of those things there's not a lot on it anyway to begin with.
There.
Well, what door do you reckon? Crystal storage? Or, maybe if we approach the constructs with a crystal, they would. No, that's wishful thinking. They're not going to part ways just because we look like a repairman.
Oh god, no.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. At the same time,
Maybe
like,
there's like a maintenance badge in crystal storage. I don't know. I'm just trying to, like, you know, not that I'm worried about fighting. Just it's more like I feel
the
I don't
resources we want to save.
even more like I just don't want to be as destructive as we make our way through the place. Just because I don't know. I think Alex just thinks it's a shame what happened here.
Yeah.
Like we've been working for we've basically been working for the gods pretty much, like, you know, getting Eltrail, the holy city, out of hell. He feels almost like he doesn't want to, like, continue being
A shill for the gods.
so, yeah, like, doesn't want to be like seen as like an agent of their destruction. So he'd rather, if he can, pass through peacefully. But you know, it's an old security system. It's gone kind of haywire, so that is probably going to be limited.
Well,
do what you can do.
The other flip of that is this is the world where Sardior almost found peace. And ultimately, in the end, however things ended, however they went in those final moments that you didn't necessarily see, though we did see a simulacrum who did get to sit through it all, as you recall, before I killed it off, because that was pretty fun in that flashback sequence. I had fun with that flashback, set it all up for Kieran's character. I was like, here, check it out. This is why you have deja vu for killing you, because she kills you. I liked that. I thought I'd have fun, give him his special moment for his character, and have his simulacrum see what happened. That simulacrum knows exactly what happened and how it happened, and saw why Sardior is now destroying the multiverse instead of trying to save it. Just keep that in mind. Prior to this was a world where everything was brought under one banner, but now everything's slowly being destroyed.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
You know what? There's actually a GIF that really sums this up. Cool motives, but still murder.
Oh, definitely. You either live long enough to die a hero, or see yourself become the bad guy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go wherever you lead. So, pick a door, flip a coin. Wherever your gut pulls you.
Cool motive, still murder.
That was a Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's Brooklyn Nine-Nine, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, there's a meme for that.
Takes a couple steps, but oh, come on, computer, what the heck? You should just copy paste right in. I have never had my computer be in such an odd mood as it is today. Finally. I had to open that, then open it another, then edit it, and then open it a second time to get to a point that I could paste it. What the hell? Even my mute buttons aren't working correctly. It's like I gotta be in the app to mute correctly, so I'm muting like 3 times just to mute once.
Real quick. Do we remember the name of the being who tried to take Ariel's body. Like the elf.
Ursula?
That's close. Elisphera.
Elsphere, right.
I'm hilarious.
I like Ursula though. That's really good. Ursula, very close. now I'm just picturing Divine at this point, thanks to looking up some stuff on all that recently.
Are you thinking that Elisphera is an incarnation of Ceridus?
Maybe?
Elisphera, for the entirety of his life as king, stood by his side. You can easily find references to her. In fact, she would have been queen. But they didn't quite get that far. A lot of the smaller details of that note mostly became for show, as his position was elected. The title of king became an electoral title. The title of queen only carried through whoever was also king at that time, or vice versa. If a queen was voted in, then their spouse, if a man, would automatically be king, or queen if there was... Okay, I'm getting into semantics here, but you all know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whoever was voted into power gets the name, and whoever their spouses would also have the name applied as well. And in that regard, indeed, it would seem that Elisphera and Straken were head over heels.
Huh. Okay. And we currently have an angel running around in Elisphera's body. That's not going to go down well.
Well, it's not our fault, really.
You were between a rock and a hard place, and then the DM made it boulders raining down on you, and to throw it on top, he also threw a meteor at your heads. Yeah, it really wasn't your fault at that moment.
Yeah.
Bad guy was like, checkmate, you're never gonna have anything that's ever gonna stand against me in power. And then you find this place, and Dean's like, that's a big friggin' cannon.
Sometimes I just like being a simple guy.
Yep. Like I say, it's one thing to push characters back to the wall and make it seem like it's hopeless. But so long as there is hope at the end of that tunnel, a little glimmer that there is an ending you can find. And this is pretty much it. So you have a choice. Door number 1 or try to get to door number 2.
Not to be like a Kieran or anything, but I need to pee and B am also hungry. So would this be a good time to pause maybe and take a lunch break?
I want to give you inspiration again just for being funny. But yes, definitely we can take a break here.
Okay.
You're on fire today, Jillian.
I have my moments.
Oh my word. All right, so we'll take a quick 15-minute break. I'm going to swap the music down so that's muted out. And once we get back, well, we'll continue on and you can all decide which direction you want to go. But we'll take a quick 15-minute break.
Alright, awesome.
Okie dokie.
See you in a
Thanks,
bit.
Alan.
My pleasure. Alright.
Bienvenue.
Hola, mi amigo. When all else fails, switch to a different language.
Okay. No, absolutely.
Well, that's the thing. You go French, I go Spanish. Friggin'. Oh my.
I bet I can know French or Spanish, though.
I got myself the most awesome lunch.
What'd you get?
Pizza pockets.
Nice.
But not any normal one. I was out shopping and they had them on clearance for $1.50 or $2 a piece, so I bought like 3 packs. And I think I've sent this picture out before, but I'm gonna do it again just because how bloody good they are. Wow, I can't do anything extra with my computer today. Nothing's working, none of the copy paste, none of the drags. There we go. De Frank's Red Hot Pizza Pops.
Interesting. They had breakfast pizza pockets. So it's like, I kind of want to try those. So I did. They're not bad.
Oh, the breakfast pizza pocket? No, thank you. I tried it. Same with the breakfast pizza pop and the breakfast McCain's toaster strudel thing. Like, none of them. Well, the toaster strudel wasn't bad, but oh man, I can't do it.
The pizza pocket, I didn't mind. I don't think I'd get again, but it's not terrible.
I like to make a nice breakfast. So when I sit down with a good side of scrambled eggs that I've done up and made nice and whipped and fluffy with some other stuff with it, and then I try one of those things, it's like...
I mean, that's fair.
If I was in an emergency and super hungry and dying, I might eat one. Though, if you want to try the good one, the toaster strudel one that goes in the toaster, they did one now that's egg, and it's a little better.
Interesting.
You get more of a breakfasty feel, not so much processed taste out of it. I mean, I eat pizza pockets when I want a pizza pocket. I eat pizza pops because of the Frank's Red Hot, but I prefer pizza pockets, not gonna lie. I was actually at the grocery store and I was getting this, and some guy's like, "You shouldn't get those." And I look straight at him like, "What the hell?" And he's holding pizza pockets up. He goes, "These are better." And I just start laughing, and I'm like, "These have Frank's Red Hot." And he goes, oh shit. And he grabs one. I'm like, "Oh, switching sides, are we?" He says, "It's hot sauce, man. Have a good one." I'm like, "You too, buddy."
The pizza pouches, like the no-name pizza pouches, aren't bad.
Haven't tried them yet.
Again, I'm not super picky.
I usually only grab them when they're on sale, to be completely honest. I did get a bunch, actually. It's $2.99 right now for a 3-pack of pizza pockets at Superstore, so... I feel bad for anybody watching this Twitch or rewatching these videos at this point. They'll be like, "Dang it, people. We don't care what you're shopping for. Get back to killing things."
Well, we're waiting for the other murder hobos. I mean, players.
Exactly.
You're the murder hobo, not me.
I am the murder hobo. It's
I'm
actually...
the war.
Yep.
It's really funny, because like this campaign is the least murder hobo I've ever played.
You're all lawful good to a T in this campaign. It's a bit surprising. It's as I've said. When you've been given the choice between doing the right and just thing, which is the biggest pain in the ass, or taking the easy way out without any consequence, you still do the super just and right thing. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Little things like that make a difference. But yeah, I figure Dan's character Jade could fit in any campaign. If there was murder hobos, he'd be like, "Well, I'm an assassin now."
Yeah.
Not that he technically would.
No, I'd stay the thief. I'm having lots of fun with thief. Chaotic neutral.
And you pretty much made my doors obsolete. I do everything. I'm like, I even removed the cool item for the last dungeon, and you're like, "I still roll a 47. It's like, damn it. Yes, the door is unlocked.
It's only 37.
The thing is that the cool item only gives me advantage.
Exactly. You're still overpowered to frig.
The crazy part is, if I hand it off to someone else and they attune to it, they can use thieves' tools.
Which is real nice. Now, I make it sound like I'm upset over these powers, but geez, you're level 20. At this point, you've all definitely earned it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, do you have the wording you used for the Book of Everything?
Oh, it's been a while. The spellbook, you mean?
Yeah.
I do not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Well, send me
Just-
a message with the base info that I gave you, just so I'll make it up for next week, and you'll have it as a character item at that point. But that way, so
Okay.
we're on the same page. Sometimes I slightly modify and add or change things after the fact. I give you the basics of how it works, but
Yeah, absolutely.
if I wrote that
Just-
straight into the description of an item, you'd be like, it breaks this, this, and this rule, I'm overpowered now. A great example is Jade's Blade. I copied 2 or 3 other magical item description text directly into that to make sure I didn't botch it. Same with Flux's armor or anything like that, Dean's armor. But yeah, send me a message with what I had promised, because it was like upcasting a spell, the +3 bonus on attacking the because it's a +3 book, etc., etc.
You hadn't said +3. You would. I never really got super clear on what it was. It was +1 to DC. It's the big thing.
Oh,
where
it
are
functions the same as the Wand of a War Mage +3. You get a +3 bonus to your spell attacks.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I ever knew that.
Everything's maxed out at this point. It's the end of the game. No, if these items were there with these powers, I'd like you to have them.
Yeah.
I mean, even with them, as Dean will attest, that dragon boss fight was still a nightmare. One wrong slip and I would have had yous.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
could have gotten quite dicey.
It was like trying to think the wording on this. And it's like not coming to me.
The truth is, the team is strategic. You all take that
Yeah.
moment to be like, okay, this will pay off, and it works.
Yeah.
I'll admit that. You all try to be very strategic, and you all work well together. It's always a fun thing to see. A bit frustrating when I'm trying my damnedest to kill one of you. But then Dan steps forward and he goes, I will take the shot, and dies. And I'm like, but he's just going to come right back. Sorry, Dan. Jade's just unkillable. Definitely living up to the 9 lives reputation, right? Like, if that wasn't a myth in the worlds before, it is now, after your character's life.
That's why I did it there. Okay.
Or is
So,
there
John?
just a picture of an arm in the group?
Oh, that's the arm that Dean's character Alex saw sticking through the chest of the angel as it was dying.
Okay.
Except that was from Dean's point of view. Whatever that thing was that annihilated, that's all he could see. And as you can tell, it looks badass. I'm just gonna say, final boss. Yep. Big bad final super boss, ready to take on a group of overpowered level 20s. You damn right. You also know it's in the antechamber at the end of this dungeon.
Yeah.
And I will also point out, because I almost forgot this from earlier, when you were reading the book for the instructions and I mentioned stuff, I forgot the key instruction that you learned. You can't get into the antechamber without at least 3 crystals at running full power out. And you've only got 1 up to par so far. Get 2 more, your path forward is unlocked. Which is
Right.
handy since you can't access the 4th. You get a
Yep.
phone call every now and again from Rhea or Zariel, and they're like, hey guys, how's it going? We're still fighting back here. Well, not so much us as just Judicator, you know. Super Robo Man. It's like RoboCop. Doesn't get tired. Kills everything. Kind of scary.
I hit the wrong button, sorry.
I think my single favorite moment, though, was definitely when you were fighting Judicator, John.
Yeah.
And he teleports to follow the team as he had planned from the start. And you're like, did you read my character sheet to counter that precisely? And I'm like, no. No, he's high CR. He's just an ass, and he knows better. And then I look at your character sheet, and it's like, oh, yeah. They probably would have still got away. But, oh, yeah, I can see you were built to completely counter that. Okay.
Yeah.
Smart bosses always teleport as much as they possibly can if they can do it for free. And for Judicator, all he has to do is burn 5 feet of movement. He can teleport up to 120 feet. So, you know.
That's illegal, sir.
Considering there's no limit to it, yup, that's quite illegal. And his fly speed's 600, so, you know, go figure. But when your challenge rating's in the 30s, you gotta do some crazy shit to make the character fun. Plus, you were never truly designed to fight the guy, let's be honest. This was my point of saying, you know what, let's put a super powerful, overpowered, incredibly strong dude on the good guy's team. Alright.
Well, it's a double-edged sword, I think, because then you can go, well, now I can put one on the bad guy's side.
Oh, there's already one on the bad guy's side. Do you think the last boss is CR30? No, I had to up that little bit. You're all too strong.
What was CR?
47. No. No, I'd put it up there at around the 30s. Or maybe a little better than that. Ooh, pardon me. It's well balanced for a standard group of level 20s. So if y'all go in there weakened, I'll probably win. But if you go in there bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and since you'll see it coming a mile away... I don't like fight. Well, it's just like any game with a final fight. After years of playing and after all that stuff, that last boss fight, standing there with the arms folded, like, no, you go ahead and take a long rest. I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll finish this.
Was it there was a boss fight in Final Fantasy 12 that let you leave and save so you could go back and can keep fighting because it took so goddamn long?
Oh yeah, the turtle. I remember that. I haven't played in years, but I remember that. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's some big numbers in that game.
The Adamant toys or something? It's been a while.
No, I think that was Final Fantasy 13. This one was in 12. It was some hidden optional dungeon. But yeah, the Adamant toys was bad as well. Try to think. I'll find a link for you.
Alright. Oh, and thanks for the message, John. I will take those. Yeah, that sounds exactly like what I had wrote for it. I just wanted that. It basically was meant to be a penultimate spell book, so...
Yeah. Oh, and you also said +3. I'm just gonna add it here.
Yep. Plus every spell ever made in D&D ever in one place.
Yeah, I already have that.
Written in Sardior's elegant handwriting. Yep. Ooh, pardon me. I don't have, in regards to the identity of Straken, too many tricks left up my sleeve for that one. The big secret is that as long as I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons, I've been shoehorning that NPC in to every campaign that basically I've ever run. Recently I did a Waterdeep campaign. He was one of the guards that came, befriended the party, warned them about one of the NPCs. The party immediately distrusted him until he bought some liquor. Then they were happy with him. And when the fireball struck that city at, level 3 during the events in the midway through the campaign, he was completely obliterated by it.
Oh.
He was going to make a comeback, but that campaign didn't go much further after that. He was going to be working for the good guys and help out and all that. It was all planned just to, enhance the plot itself. I shove him in as a character to make the plot more detailed and deeper. All the while, Sardior has the back-end goal of revival. But you're the first team to make it far enough in a very long time. The story keeps developing, evolving, and advancing over time, though, so... Yeah, when you were all like, can we keep one of the skeletons? And I was like, can you? I have a plan how to make this work, and thus the general story, so... The only change, and you can all thank yourselves for this one, anytime I ever run Descent into Avernus from now on, he's a fallen general, except he didn't turn. He becomes a monster and a secret boss if the party wants to do everything in the campaign.
Okay. Yeah.
Only because you all went the good route. If you went the bad route in Avernus, he would have been a fallen general working with Zariel, who would try to stop the party before the penultimate fight. But instead, yeah, I got some fun plans for him. He's just a secret optional fight. He's my ruby weapon. I just flippin' realized. And John, I hope you have enjoyed not having a book to read forward on, giving the plot drops that I've done in the last year for all the little pieces and everything that's come together. I hope it hasn't driven you too badly up the wall, because I still have a couple secrets.
Just so we're clear, I never read the spoilers ahead of time. I was always good.
Well, that's the thing.
But
If you were playing Avernus, you could have read forward on that whole thing, got it, and be like, oh, okay, and then played through without any trouble. That's the type of person you are. You wouldn't spoil the game and you'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's like watching a TV show twice. I never mind those things, but when you don't have those answers, it's worse.
Absolutely. I don't lie, like, I've decided to watch One Piece for the first time. Constantly, I'm like going, okay, is this actually what's going to happen? Hey, look, it is! I love being able to check.
One Piece is amazing, and they're now really dubbing it a lot and catching up very quick. And it's got like 800 episodes, so you know.
I was just going to say, you're in episode 40 of 800.
No, I'm actually... I've finally gotten to the time skip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Skypiea was such a good arc.
I've been doing this for a long time.
Skypiea was such a good arc. It's like, let's all fly into the sky. I'm like, how the hell? And then they do it, and I'm laughing my butt off. Oh, yeah. But rest in peace, Going Mary, eh?
You're a little off. There's 1,026 episodes, not 800.
Oh, well, there's only about 800 dubbed. 820, 30 or so? And I'm assuming you're watching the dub.
Yes.
Funimation's done a good job. I mean, there's some people who might go, blasphemy on dub, but you don't hear that much anymore, and I really like the job that Funimation did. Actually, have you watched any of the After the Time Skip episodes yet?
I am nearing the end of the first...
Okay.
The Fishman one.
Prior to that, you know the fake team that came up? Saying, we're the ones off the Thousand Sun, pretending to be them, right?
Yeah.
They did the same thing in that they did in the Japanese version. I'm not sure if you noticed. They had the voice actors switch spots.
Oh, really?
Yep. So, like, Luffy was Zoro, Zoro was Chopper. Not those actual switches, but that's essentially what they did.
Yeah.
So that was... Oh, I got a kick out of it. I love it. I love One Piece. I could go on and on and on, but that's like Final Fantasy. Unless everybody watches One Piece, it becomes very tedious for anyone who doesn't. And Dean and Jillian, I don't think you both watch One Piece, do you?
I've not seen it. I'm aware of it. I don't know if I ever get around to watching it, but I don't mind.
I can definitely see not getting into it, because that is a lot of episodes.
Well,
yeah, I think
the manga's on its final chapters. For real.
How long's that been running then? Like 20 years or more?
Yep, it's pretty damn old. Very long time. The only thing I'll say for One Piece is I prefer the character designs at the start. The way it is now, it's really depicting an unhealthy body image for ladies. Like, oh my god, some of the characters who show up. But then again, they do the same for some of the guys. They show up, they're just ripped. They look like a toned muscle from top to bottom with tiny legs. It's like, look at me, I'm Johnny Bravo, and you're not.
Yeah.
It's my only problem with it.
Well, that's your only problem after 800 episodes, whatever. It's pretty good going, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm always chomping at the bit for more episodes, though I've got about 80 on my backlog to watch of the new stuff, but I love One Piece. It's a fun show.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit too long for me. I started to watch when I was young, and then that, I don't think that it has anywhere close to the amount of episodes One Piece has, but it's up in the hundreds, and I was like, that's a bit much. I don't know.
I don't know how they do it. One Piece doesn't bore me as they keep adding more and more to it, and that's the other flip. They're like, here's a guy we introduced in episode 3. You don't see his powers to episode 750. And, like, the whole time it's the coolest character still. Like, that's the impressive thing. I don't know how to do it. Oda should write Dungeons and Dragons.
You're talking about their body images?
Oh, John brings up the character who's supposed to be the prime example of them doing that. She even sways her hips as she walks. But look at the dude right behind her. He's got no shirt on, super baggy pants, and he is the most ripped MFer I've ever seen. But yeah, that's my underlying issue around that point onward in One Piece.
I mean, that's really early on too.
Yeah, that's the Baroque works.
Yeah,
that's when things start to twist.
I don't understand the psychology or downplaying any issues people have, but surely you would look at that and just think, well, that's obviously a cartoon.
You would think, but
Well, I look
Yeah,
at that
know,
guy's
like,
gut, and I look down at mine, and I'm like, oh man, I know I'm out of shape, but come on. So I can only imagine.
yeah,
so, Dean, we're talking about like this is a cartoon. No one would be stupid enough to do that. I want to point out someone has a Barbie figure, like they've had ribs removed. They've had procedures,
yeah.
so they look like a
Yeah,
living
like-
Barbie.
I said, you know, obviously there's a mental health issue, but it's just, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever understand.
Oh, I agree. I won't ever understand either.
Yeah.
The
It's
concern
the-
of body image. It's a big thing. I wouldn't. Nope.
Yeah.
That's why I don't draw anymore.
Mm.
I draw
Anyways.
a picture and it'd be just like, oh that looks good, and then it's like, oh no, it doesn't. Oh my word.
Anyways, now that we're good, yeah.
Oh, and
Yep.
Dan threw up a picture of the Barbie girl, and wowza, she's artificial. Oh well.
Yeah, that's.
If you got
It
money
ca-
and it brings you true happiness, do what you'd like so long as it doesn't harm other people. Sure.
I don't know. I feel like at some point, doctors should surely they have a responsibility to say no. You can't. I won't do this surgery.
Oh, like that
Like-
person who made themselves look like a cat. No offense,
Yeah.
Dan. Jade's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think you'd want to have that face for the rest of your life, right?
For the record, if Dan goes to have a procedure to look like Jade, I think we need to have an intervention.
Oh my.
Like I love Jade, don't get me wrong, but that's too much.
Yeah.
Because I mean, by
I
the
get-
end, you just look like a swollen mess. Like I've seen them, and it's no, thank you.
Is there not a guy in Brazil who's trying to look like the devil? So he's had like his nose removed and his ears pointed, and
Well, I mean, if he's in a rock metal band, sure, but even then, oh my god, like
It's about people make bad choices. Let's leave it
Yeah.
at that.
I just like if I was in a position to do that kind of surgery, like I just can't imagine ever saying yes to that.
yep. He couldn't pay me
Okay.
enough. No, thank you.
I remember
Burgers
a
just
while.
farted, in case anyone was wondering, and it is rotten.
Oh, that dog. Dog brutal with their poopies.
I have a friend who has scarification done on him. So they literally like with this.
Boy.
I should have said trigger warning. Do people know what it is? How it's done?
Oh yeah, like I'm not like you can talk
Don't
about
they just
it.
like cut you?
No,
You
they
can
So-
make
take like
specific
a
designs.
they take like
they-
a chunk. It's not a cut.
Oh,
They
really?
take it. They take a scalpel. They do the design, and then like remove like your skin from the.
How is
area.
that not? Like, how does that? Isn't there like a Hippocratic oath that says
No,
do no harm?
doctors won't do it. Like you need to go to like a some kind of
There are people who do that sort of modification. No,
Yeah. and
this
like
guy. Also, just for the record, this guy has magnets in his fingers.
Jesus, like
Oh,
because
man.
doctors won't do that kind of thing. So that you need to go to these. I guess it's like almost like a tattoo parlor. I think they've got more rules.
I got a
But, like,
chiropractor's license. I can help you with that.
Yeah, but they can't give you any anesthetic, so like this is just you feel everything. Because as
Yeah.
soon as they give you anesthetic, it'll leave. So
Yeah.
But he
Well,
walks in with a 40. I'm ready, downs it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear, guy's a great guy. He's weird though. Like just
Yep.
if it wasn't clear,
yeah,
but he's like an amazing dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no hate toward your friend at all. It's just
But-
not something don't think I could.
Oh,
Exactly.
even like
I couldn't
I
do
don't
that.
mind pain. Like pain is fine for me. I have a huge pain tolerance. I couldn't imagine getting that done. Like
I don't mind pain, but I avoid it.
Yep. Yeah. I don't mind
Well-
pain, but it's not my best friend. Anyway, I don't invite it out to drinks on Saturday night, and it gets back at me sometimes on Sunday.
well, like tattoos, right? For me, those feel like amazing. They just feel really nice. but like I couldn't imagine getting like the
Okay.
Yeah.
So John would be spending his time in the Black Light District. We get it. He likes the pain. Jeez, man. I get a tattoo. I like it. Said nobody. Wow, that's impressive, man, though. Seriously.
no, it feels really nice.
You know what? Courtney says similar things. She says she could fall asleep getting a tattoo.
Oh, lucky people.
I've nearly done that.
I watch that show Ink Masters, and I'm just like, ugh, sometimes. I love the show. Apparently, the judges have gotten themselves into some trouble and are getting swapped out for the next season. But Dave Navarro's my bro. I love that guy. He's so cool.
I thought they canceled that show.
They did, but it's coming back. Actually, I think her name's Ryan, one of the lady who won, because that show does not like women, so I'm kind of happy they're switching the judges around a little. But she gets on that show, she's covered in tattoos, and she looks like an Instagram supermodel, and I'm like, she's either all show or she's a flippin' god with the pen, and she sits down and does one tattoo, and I'm like, she's a god with the pen, look at that, oh my god. And she's going to be one of the judges, I believe. I'm really excited for it, because she got some skill.
Cool. Yeah, I know they tried to do a spin-off with like a bunch of the female tattoo artists. I don't think much ever came from that spin-off though.
The problem was COVID kicked in when they were doing it, and everything got shut down at that point. You can't tattoo during that. It sucked.
No.
So, and then a few things have come up that have brought their social standing for the other gentlemen on the show into question. Things not so nice that they've said about people in the past. So, of course, they're gone off the show now. But Dave Navarro's still around as like a consultant, and we're going to have new judges and stuff. I don't know. I've always liked Ink Master because something about seeing that artwork is just amazing.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I would love to be one of the people who get tattooed.
I give a volunteer. I walk up, be like, I want you to draw a Dungeons and Dragons dungeon across my back. Let's go 80s style. I want this to be a horrible tattoo, but make it look good. Let's go. Well, you all know what I mean by that. The full back eagle spread tattoo. I mean, there's a time and a place to have an eagle tattoo, but on my back, some Scottish dude, let's be honest, I say this even though I'm like a couple generations living in Canada now, the Scottish descent guy with a big giant eagle on his back, people are going to be looking at that like, you missed the mark, buddy. Like, you're Canadian, you could have used a beaver, or you come from Scotland, maybe put a picture of a tartan flag on the back or something, but an eagle? Nope. Mind you, to each their own, as I always say. If you find a good design and you like it, get it done. Ink is a personal thing. Who gives a shit what other people think about it at the end? You should all be more like Courtney. Check out her awesome tattoos, right?
Yeah. Anyways, D&D.
Back to the game.
D&D.
I've got very little plot secrets left. A couple of doozies, I'll admit, but you've got most of the answers and information now.
Alec, all along, you've just been 3 kobolds in a trench coat. What?
Flux knew. Flux knew the whole
stares. How the hell did you all know?
So, okay, that's kind of weird because, like, in one of my other Discords, one of the people's name currently is 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Oh, nice.
Kind of weird that you bring that up.
Well, before we jump back in, have you all seen the picture of kobolds from Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden? It's 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Yeah.
It's like a meme.
Oh, absolutely.
And then they made it real. I love it so very much.
Yeah.
I heard from someone, I know you're running that game, Alan, it might have been yourself, but I think it was someone else said that adventure is a hot mess to run.
It can be. It's so open.
Kieran? Because he was running it, wasn't he?
It might have been Kieran.
The only issue with it is it's a very open world game. There's 10 towns, and each town has 2 degrees of missions that they can send you on. So the players have to be invested in travel and all that stuff, plus survival at the same time. There's so many balls a DM has to juggle, but if you like running open world, it's actually a lot of fun. I got the players up to level 3 now. They've been going through all crazy stuff. Did a mountain climb. Stared at this beautiful Aurora Borealis at 12 at night, which gave me an opportunity to actually show the Frost Maiden fly by casting her spell. Because, you know, if they're at the top of the world, why not? It was a fun moment. But you have to be ready for anything. And you have to have all 10 towns prepared, all of their side maps prepared, buildings for all of them, places for all of them, and a bunch of world map encounters. So as long as you're ready to be able to shift on the fly, because the players can do whatever they want. It's totally open world until you get nearer to the end of the game. Then it closes back in and becomes much more tight. I actually find Curse of Strahd's trickier for the way it's worded. Because Curse of Strahd is, here's so much info. Where do I start? Somewhere. Barovia. There, go.
So my other D&D group, we recently started. Restarted the rhyme because we didn't ever finish it.
Oh, fun.
And we rolled up the secrets. I was a giant who was raised by Yetis, so I could speak Yeti.
Oh, you're the littlest Yeti.
Yeah. And then we happened to go up the mountain to find the dude. And we actually just got, like, we were sitting there. It's like, yeah, no, this is probably going to be, like, if it wasn't for me, that would have been so much more deadly. Because I just sat there, talked to him, and like, you can speak Yeti. Yeah, you're cool. Just don't go to this place because we got a family living there.
Actually,
Oliver.
If you checked my last video for Rime of the Frost Maiden that I uploaded during the week, that's what they had, and we had a littlest Yeti, and it turned out just like that too. Even had the big Yeti come to the door at the end and yell at them. And they were like, no thank you, no thank you, and they got away just fine. So I love that back thing, and I love that they put pieces like that in there to take advantage of these secrets if anyone has them, because otherwise it becomes brutal. You have to either kill the Yetis, kidnap the kid, or threaten the hell out of them, and nobody likes to do that as a good player. But survival is survival, so that's awesome though, man. If you want some flashbacks, give that a watch. I did it as well, and you can compare how the two of them went. I love Kelvin's Cairn. It's a nice little fun climb map.
Yeah.
But that littlest Yeti, oh, I'm happy you had fun with that. It's a nice add-in. They also have a kobold friend now that they picked up from a gem mine. He's on their team. Killed all the other ones, and he's like, no thank you, I'll work with you guys. Oh, but I've gone way off at this point. We've just been rambling.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, geez, this is team. We've all been going on for a little bit with all the fun stuff. It's half the fun of these Sunday games is the social interaction we don't get. So, you know. But back to the story at hand. Has the team decided which direction you want to leave from this room? Because I was very, very happy to reveal to Jillian that it's like, yeah, you've been holding the biggest plot piece for quite a long time.
Well, why don't we open this door and see what's behind?
Yep, that's quite sensible.
Oh, actually, what we could also do is ask Suri what way is the quickest way to the crystal room.
That's true.
Yeah, sure.
This way. The door that's indicated, the crystal room.
Okay.
Alright, let's if we're all good to move on, I'll click this button. So where did are you under your head, Nimbar? Or no, you're at the top there. Sorry, I hadn't zoomed out enough. I was like,
There we go. Now I'm over the head.
alright. I clickety-clacked the door.
But it seems to be locked.
Yes.
Jade? Jade? Would you mind?
I'll give him guidance if he so wishes.
Pretty sure Jade just tried to open the door and it just opened for him.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's locked?
As Jade walks up to this door and gives it a check with his sleight of hand. It's not even locked, Dan. You've got an easy day on this one.
Dan, do you want some healing?
Nope.
Okay.
Float. Door.
That's the thing. Glancing around the next tight hallway, you find your path forward fairly limited as the road takes a quick turn to a rather large door made of that similar fusion adamantine you've seen earlier of such raw, indestructible might, barring your way to the next room.
But those are the one. Are those? Just, I've forgotten a lot. Are those the doors that are warded and need to? It's all skill to unlock.
Yep.
Every door in this place is that.
The way I look at it, Dan spent 20 levels mastering his abilities. I'm gonna let him show them off. Because as you know, it takes 3 fails before a lock starts to mess up usually, so the odds of Dan actually failing 3 times as Jade rolls is next to nothing, but it could happen.
It has happened.
There was that one time, yeah. Or it could be trapped, and it might be a trap that he can't detect, at which point he just evades it anyway, because we know how Dan is. So there is one more large, very barred door ahead. This door, however, does not have a locking mechanism, and simply has a spin dial handle to open, and does not appear to be locked at a glance. Mostly because it doesn't appear to have a locking mechanism.
No. All right. So, who's got the stick to check the floor?
Got sticks for days.
We got sticks for days, yeah. Everybody has sticks. It's quarterstaffs.
More or less, I'm asking who is going to go check for the trap, because I'm not good at it.
I think it's usually me and Alec and Jade, like side by side, doing a little tap dance along. Tap 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 tap. Oh, what happened there?
I'm not sure. The most recent edition of Mount Up shoves them into a corner now, which is odd. It catches when you move, but I'm still looking into that instead of being central on a player.
Well, it used to be like the top left corner, I think. Now it's the bottom right. That's not a big deal. It kind of shifted, and I was like,
A little peculiar for the health bars is the only major problem.
oh yeah.
I will say, as you exit the room, the enforcers do not follow, simply watching as you all slowly walk out. So who's gonna go stepping forward, tapping a stick?
I'll defer to or I'll give the rogue the first right of refusal.
No, if you're asking me to go first, I'll just go first.
Yeah, I think I think you're a little bit more consistent for the checks and stuff because you're a reliable talent.
I think it works out that I can't. You can roll lower than I can, but you can roll higher than I can.
Yeah.
I can just roll lower than you. I can't roll higher.
Yeah. Well, Jade will lead the way.
So just perception?
Yep.
Uh, 25.
With a 25, as Jade taps the stick in front of him, he finds nothing all the way to that large, oversized door. What the hell? Somehow someone selected one of the other enforcers and it moved with your token way out of bounds. How the hell? I'm just going to delete it. Goodbye, enforcer. apparently cannot delete it. I can't even select the damn thing. What the hell?
Oh god! Oh no!
Look at me, look at me. I am the destroyer now.
It's rebelling against the DM! Run!
I'm gonna put 4 walls around it and see if that holds it in place.
I'd laugh if it doesn't.
The DM could not destroy the enemy, so we had to seal it away. Well,
If
as
you ever
mentioned,
fight that particular one, it has to be like super overpowered.
no, it already was. You killed the scythe dude. And Jillian, I'll just throw your character forward, save you a few steps.
Oh yeah, thank you. Sorry, I'm listening. I'm just drawing.
No worries. I also sent you some bonus information on Cerades and the blade in your message.
Oh, did you? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't even notice.
Oh, no worries. It's stuff to read over and think. There's no rush on it whatsoever. It won't affect today's game. But I always give the heads up in case players are like, oh, more info. Yeah. Then it's like, wait a second, you're not sending me back in time to fight an angel, are you? That doesn't end well for our team. And I say, no, not today. Maybe tomorrow.
Next week.
Oh my god. Possibly. Giant door in front of you. Do you give it a twist and open it up? Without any trouble, you do. And you'll notice, again, this map is fairly blank. Except for the large crystal in the middle, because you have found another crystal chamber, but I do like to use these as an old school D&D reference. A bit of theater of the mind, as it were, because it's a bit more fun to play with that way, since it's not a combat-based encounter. Now, I will say this exceedingly large chamber only has one other door at the opposite side, which is presently sealed shut and appears to be of the same make and construction of the door that you've just rolled to the side, but without a handle on it. And as you walk into this room, there is a 5-foot catwalk around the outside of this room. This one appears to be the antithesis to the last crystal, because as you step onto this catwalk, as I'm going to grab Jade's character and move forward with him, you notice the area I've marked in red is a massive, massive drop. And of course, with the power radiating from this powerful void crystal, which has a small pool of darkness floating in it at the base, maybe about 20% full, if that. Magic is, of course, offlined in this room once again, as you find yourself in a pure concentration of void. Everything except tools that come from the other world, like Cerades's rage. Because obviously, being the fang of the obsidian dragon that exists within the void cannot silence that sword. Something I had mentioned previously, as you might recall, the sword didn't have any trouble. Everyone was like, I wonder why. Now you know, and knowing's half the battle. But as for what you see in this room, a 500-foot drop down in a deep, cone-shaped ridge. I have one on there which is showing the size. Oops, give me 1 second here. And I'm going to put another one at the base of the crystal, showing how the edge walls come in. And of course I deleted it, because I put a second one up and accidentally deleted that one. So let's try again and not mess it up this time, Alan. There we go, good job. You can all see the two sets of coloration. The circular area at the bottom represents a flat zone around the crystal. The walls themselves are only very slightly inclined on this 500-foot drop to reach the bottom area. Certainly, falling would meet certain doom. But what really catches your attention are the hundreds, possibly thousands, of mirrors that go from very top to very bottom. Small little shafts sticking out from the wall. If I were to draw them, they'd pretty much just, stick out like... That's not the draw tool, that's the select tool. Would stick out like this all the way in, at various lengths and sizes. Inert and completely still, attached to metallic bracers. You can tell from the ones near the top with a glance, their edges are razor sharp. And each mirror is held at a different angle. Some of them you can see straight on like this. Other ones become a very thin edge pointing straight up and down. Falling on them would most certainly sever a limb clear from your body. But down beside the crystal at the very base of it, its purple radiant glow humming gently as only a trickle of power, you can see that same metallic pillar connecting it to the ground, and control units for switching it on the power. The question is, how do you get down there with a 500-foot drop and no magic to help yourself? The walls as well, super thick and slick, making generic climbing impossible because I don't want Jade to just cheese the challenge. I'll be honest. It's like I give myself a climb speed. Well, you just made it too easy. Congratulations. Or is it? Because Jade might be noticing you actually can climb the exterior wall here. There's ridges about every 5 feet between sections of plate leading down that would give you a foothold for your claws to take. Or anyone with a climb speed for that matter, if you can figure out a magical funky way to do it.
Without being magical?
I mean, I think when it comes to climbing, you don't get much better than Jade, followed by Flux, just because of our raw strength.
I don't think you get much worse than me.
Probably not. Stat-wise. That's like, can I sugarcoat it? No.
Meanwhile, you're all thinking, well, shit, if we had Lulu here, this would be no problem. We fly her down, she pushed the button, she fly right back up, be like, oh, I did it, everybody. Unfortunately, the golden floof is not here at this moment.
Here's the quick, it's theoretical. If Bellamy was here, is
she's
her
got wings.
flight magical?
No.
I mean, she can only do it for a minute a day, but with like
Minutes long enough for her to change the distance that she would have needed. Like I say, 500 feet straight down to where this crystal is.
Guys, don't worry, I'll cast Feather. Oh, wait.
I don't think we've got enough rope between all of us to clear 500 feet. And even then, we'd need to tie it together, which should reduce it slightly. Blah, blah, blah.
My only concern is last time we turned one of these crystals on, it sent out a pulse of energy that could harm us. So whoever goes down needs to be able to get back up as fast as possible.
Yep. I do apologize, guys. I'm not going to be much use in this room.
I mean,
They may need your knowledge, but we'll see.
I have athletics for climbing, but it's going to be slow and possibly dicey because I think it's +6 without my armor.
I mean, I can try doing it again. I did it last time.
Well, he did say I could climb there because there are footholds. My worry is, are those footholds a trap?
It's a possibility.
Now, when I say footholds, I should clarify. Because the whole way down, as you can see my mouse spinning here for the circle, there are bands of metal going down this cylindrical shaft. It's between each one of these gaps at about 5 feet intervals so that your character would be able to catch on, and their climb skill would be able to be of use. The wall itself is still smooth as butter, and if not for these adjoining pieces between each of the layers, you'd have no room to climb. But thanks to the very construction of the walls itself, you have footholds. Not specific footholds in specific spots, but entire rings from top to bottom.
Right, and just so I heard this right, are they climbing up or down?
Down 500 foot.
Yep, down. Right. And so the circle is where the drop is, and the square that's where the anti-magic field starts.
That's pretty much the edge wall. It represents the area that drops, and then the circle represents the bottom. It's very, very slightly coned, but you're talking, what is this? 30 feet over 500 foot drop, so 500 foot down with a 30-foot base would give you a hypotenuse that's damn near level anyway, so you know.
Yeah, right, I get you.
I don't want to do the math. Don't make me do Pythagoras theorem, please.
No,
I'm lazy.
I wouldn't ask anyone to do that.
But essentially, you have a very small catwalk across the entirety of this map, and you're more than welcome to walk around as you make it.
I was just going to ask if I could do that, just because.
I'll even allow full theater of mind on this one. You can throw your mini past. I do not have anything that's blocking, so if you wanted to actually just run your mini straight in this direction from where you're at to just see the map, you can certainly do that.
Okay, cool. That'll save me edging all the way.
Your character, however, is here. Yeah, you're the one who has the other enforcer. How'd you do that?
What? It's me?
For some reason, you have this enforcer here, so.
Do you want to give us a... Do you want to explain yourself, Alex, why you're dragging one around with you?
I mean, constructs have been known to follow me in the past.
Did your monodrome evolve?
Yeah, you're bringing all of them with you.
Can
you do me a favor and just click on, like, Nimbar and then click on your token again?
Okay, that's me. Click Nimbar.
And then click your own and then just move up one with her. And I'm just going to see here. Yeah, okay. And let me try something here. Because I think I have an idea of what's gone wrong.
What happens if I move Alex? So even if I move Alex, it moves.
I have an idea of what's gone wrong. Unfortunately, the system's going to be a pain about it because I know exactly what's happened here. So I'm just going to shove those minis out of the way. And make sure they're not on any map anywhere. Good. There we are. And bam.
Goodbye, friends. It's been fun.
Guys, Alex just disappeared into the void. It's evolved.
I found what happened, essentially. There we go. I'll fix the mount up for another time.
Oh, it was the mountain that did it?
They linked to your character token for some reason, so every time you moved, they moved, and you were all one token. I don't know what caused it, but the easiest way to fix it is to delete your token, which deletes the source tokens, and we're good.
Okay. I'll just leave my owl behind me now, so we avoid that.
Well, I mean, you tried,
Don't leave your owl behind. He's a good friend. Leave no man behind. Like, come on.
Yeah, I think the module crapped out for mounting, and it's just following you anyway. I think I know what happened.
Alright. Well, all's well that ends well. So is this just like this bar across the thing? Is that just like a walkway support or something?
One sec, the game's about to blink.
Oh.
I'm gonna see if I can fix that problem before it makes problems worse. Shouldn't take a minute to reload. Though I might have to F5 myself here. Oh, here we go. Alright, let's see if that fixed the problem.
Sorry. Oh.
It may also be because I haven't upgraded to 10th edition yet, and they came out with the 10th upgrade, so. And if we
10th
mount
edition
them,
was fun.
well, they mount, but they can't unmount. That's fine. I'll bring your mini out if you need it. I'll figure out what's wrong with that module for next game.
I think I might need to refresh though, because it's not loaded back in for me yet.
Same.
Might
I was
take
just
a minute.
waiting. I was just waiting for him to say he was done, then I refreshed.
Yep. It's token issues. There's something wrong with the mount up module. I unloaded it and reloaded it, and it seems to be a little bugged, so we'll worry about that another time. The rod I've put across there is straight across the very top level. It's very thin and requires perilous skill in order to bounce across it, like a solid beam across the entirety of this area. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, I'm still loading in. I'll continue my my circuit of the room. I guess I'll just in the off chances I'll keep my hand on the wall, the walkways next to, and I'll see if I can spot any any secret compartments or hatches. Maybe it says maintenance ladder extend. But
unfortunately, walking through, nothing stands out to your character's keen sense of perception.
You can live in hope. That's all you can do.
And game loading back in fine for everybody?
I'm at 99%.
I don't even have the loading bar yet.
Same.
Got the there's a little anvil up in the corner, and then it's blank, and the text box is there.
Map's not that detailed. Quick F5 should have fixed that one. Worst case, I'll relaunch it.
It just flashed. Something's happening. Oh, there we go. 50%.
I am streaming, so it does cut into the bandwidth a little bit that you all get, but I don't have anything else running on my bandwidth at the moment, so it should be smooth. But it's a big, big map. We know that. It's a gigantimous map.
Maptimus Prime.
Well, from what I'm seeing, for what's showing up, I do have registered that Dan and John, you're both coming in on the map now, so I'm hoping you guys can see it.
I can see everything here, Ian.
Lovely.
Yeah, I'm at 99%, and the music just kicked in, so I think I'm getting close.
Oof.
I'm
Network's
still at the blank info page. I'm not getting anything. Maybe I'll try hitting refresh again.
Yeah, worst case.
Maybe.
I'm actually surprised it hung up this bad.
I did have to sit on that blank screen for a while before it started to load things in.
Because I'm seeing the players connecting in TCP/IP running as you all go, showing me the packets flying. I just don't know why it's being such a pain. Well, while everyone's waiting for it to load, what I'm going to do is take a screenshot of just the map. And I'm going to put that into Discord, so y'all have an idea of what it looks like, but I just have to cut out the rest of my view because, you know, spoilers.
Oh. 100%. Let's go. Oh, there we are.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just
Eastlink must be having troubles. I'll blame them. Maybe if I clear the chat log too, given that it's full of images, that'll help. And Alec makes his way around the exterior. No weak points in the structural integrity. The metallic elements that went into constructing this room spare no expense.
Alec probably felt like he should turn back halfway through, but he's like, no, complete the circuit. Almost done now.
So as mentioned, as you had asked, this area here with the large bar going across could be walked across and hovers over the 500-foot pit. But it's going to be an acrobatics check for whoever's gutsy enough to do it. Because, balancing on a wire essentially is what you've got there. It's a single rafter the whole way across. Shouldn't be too difficult, but an unlucky roll could end you. Well, I say could end you, but your health pools are too high for that.
And is the crystal like floor to ceiling as like the last one, or is it like start? Is it? Oh, hey,
The crystal itself stands about 100 foot tall.
Right. Okay. And it zaps you, if memory serves, like the last one.
It may. It may not. The DM remains frustratingly ambiguous.
Yeah,
And John, I've got to ask, does Nimbar have a spell that would produce 500 foot of rope? John is now looking furiously through his notes.
would magically created work
Actually,
in an
to be on the safe
anti-magic
side,
field?
John, you don't have yourself on hard mute, do you? I think John may have stepped away for a minute. It's also possible he fell asleep.
Such a thing has never happened before.
Given the level of the party, it's often the wizard can create non-magical stuff using magic, Like, kabam, here it is. Or if you have a bunch of ropes to tie together.
I mean, we probably do have a bunch of rope, but I wouldn't have imagined we'd have 500 foot worth.
Hey Dan, you have any crazy plans?
Not really.
The DM goes, yes, I stumped them.
No, you pretty much said every 5 feet there's something somewhere I can put my feet. So I was just doing math calculations. Oh god, math to see how fast I can get up and down the side.
And I wouldn't even charge you any checks for making it, because it's a straightforward climbing surface. You wouldn't have to worry about all those razor mirrors. You can take your time to get past them very easily.
Well,
There we go. I saw John disconnect and reconnect on the Discord. You good, bud?
Yeah, sorry about that. Little headset issues.
All right. I was wondering for a second there. It's like we asked John a question and he's quiet. This isn't right. He always at least knows a little bit of what his character is going to be able to do.
Nothing? What was the question, though?
If you have any magical capacity to create non-magical rope.
Don't think so.
Now, beyond that, I will remind the party. Actually, no, I'm not going to remind the party. Why don't y'all give me a wisdom roll? Straight wisdom. Frigate knowledge history if you have it, to represent your character having good memory.
Does it have to be knowledge wisdom?
It's a wisdom
Knowledge
check.
history? Okay.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh, sorry, I
Sorry.
got those backwards. I said knowledge, wisdom, and then I said do a history check, which is intelligence.
Yeah.
Grr.
I forgot to click the Beyond D&D button again, but I rolled a 1 for a total of 8, so
If-
probably not.
What I truly meant to say was give me a survival check. So I'll use Nimbar's 07. I'm sorry, buddy.
Can I
Oh,
use survival?
Yep.
I would love to use survival.
A survival check would be
Jade's got an 18. So
14 on a 1.
survival's Jade's only untrained skill that he used in quite a while. Holy crap! You might actually... Nope, never mind. I thought Flux was going to beat him because that's one of her better ones. So,
No.
Jade rocks an 18. As everyone's talking about, where the hell can we find some rope? We don't got enough rope. There isn't enough rope here. Jade gives his jaw a rub as you remember the Garden of Eden next door over here had a rope well with an exceptionally long rope attached to the bucket.
Oh yeah. Well, we could go and
Yeah, I have no way of making rope. Sorry.
yeah, we could go grab that for safety and then dangle. I assume we would dangle Jade off of Flux because she could probably reel him in with one hand, I imagine.
Sure.
Alright, give Alec 2 minutes and he'll run and get the rope. He'll run as like a really fast animal.
Alec
It's not
makes
that
his way
far
over.
away.
Probably grabs a handful of berries on the way, like, God, these are so good, and then heads back, you know.
Yep.
It's like running by
Yeah.
the fridge and being like, oh, I'm getting a snack.
Is that a cold slice of pizza? I don't mind if I do.
Did you have no trouble grabbing that rope and taking it? Takes a few minutes to bundle it all up, but there's 750 feet. Way more than enough that's needed. That well was exceedingly deep. And because spare no expense, it's silken rope.
Some nice rope.
Fun fact for that spare no expense quote, though. Spare no expense, but make a lot of errors. Perfect example is when they're drinking champagne and he's saying, spare no expense, and he pulls over champagne in 2 incorrect glasses. But right at the background of the screen, you can see 2 champagne glasses unused. So yeah, spare no expense, but mess up how you do it. So you have rope and a hole. What's the party's plan at this point?
Jade will go down.
Yeah, I'll support any way I can, even if it's just holding the rope or helping Flux pull it up.
I'm pretty sure my help extends to be, you can do it. I believe in you.
And how you doing the rope? You're gonna just drop it over the edge like this way as he climbs down with it?
Oh, that's what I had an idea before. Does anyone have like a hooded lantern that we focus the beam a light? Because I was gonna.
One point of clarification. When I mentioned the mirror sticking out, they go all the 500 feet down at random points and intervals on the wall. There's no perfectly straight line to go down, and with their sharp edges, if Jade starts wrapping around a rope that way, there's a really good chance it's going to get cut. One light tug and rip, it's gone.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was gonna try bouncing some light off the mirrors, see if anything happened.
The lantern of revealing.
Oh, it's a hooded lantern, so
Yeah.
that would work. I assume that allows you to focus the light to some degree. So I'll try seeing if light bouncing off of the mirrors does anything.
Give me a perception check as you do.
All right.
I don't know. The way he said it makes me a little worried.
Well, maybe I'll find out something as to where it's a good thing. Who knows? Ah, come on.
Did you seriously still get a 20 off rolling in that one?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's just wrong. You shouldn't win on a 1, but you do, because it's DC 20.
I spec'd my character for this. There's a couple of in there for that.
All I can say is nothing gets by Alex's keen eye. My God, that's like the way Jade rolls for Dan. He's encroaching on your territory, but not on perception. We all know that's Alex's cup of tea. Glancing down, you notice as the light reflects off some of the mirrors as you shine it here and there, you can clearly see wires pulled taut between multiple mirrors in such a way that they could twist each other around. But these wires, on closer inspection, are razor sharp, adding to the dangerous nature of a descent. If somebody were to just jump off willy-nilly finding a clear path, they would certainly be cut to ribbons by the cables themselves, just as dangerous as the razor edge of each mirror.
Now I'm extremely glad Bellamy isn't here, because I think by now she might have jumped off already.
See someone else jumping down. I got Revivify, hang on.
Okay. So this became even more of a no-no room, you guys.
No, don't touch me there.
Is that your no swear?
Yeah.
And don't mind me, I got a kiddo in my arms, so I'll be on mute while we're doing stuff.
DM in training.
Maybe someday.
And if you make them cry, you win.
The saltier they get, the more you win.
That just means they're invested. Right.
Tears that aren't made of rage are the best kind in D&D. Rage tears happen when you wipe a party by accident.
So we can try and slink our way through the mirrors, or there's the wires going through the center?
The wires themselves join at the base of the mirrors, lining between each one. Glancing at them, you can see that if the mirrors can twist on their pivot points on the wall, and the wires themselves will also turn and twist with the mirrors, pulling along like a marionette's strings, though the wires themselves mostly take up the interior area. I'll draw another set of lines here just to clarify that, so that you'd get wires like... Oh, no, that's text. I'll just leave it saying new text. 1 second, I only got the one freehand right now. Wires would be connecting like this from them, making points between the mirrors just as difficult to climb through. Presently motionless, however, you can tell that these mirrors could move, and these wires would partially be responsible for twisting them around.
Right.
So how crazy do we want to go with this, guys?
All the crazy.
I feel like we're approaching Mission Impossible levels here.
Well, that was my suggestion. Go across the beam, tie the rope off to the beam, and propel down the rope so you don't go anywhere near the mirrors.
Yep. So, yeah, so I'm thinking we tie the rope around you, let you walk over to the middle of the beam, tie the rope on there, then we try and pass the length of it back so that we're kind of... I don't know how I'll be able to explain this probably, but kind of have it so that there's almost like a... So we don't need to stand on the beam, we kind of pull it like across... Oh, I don't know how to do multi-point things here, but like we affix it in the middle and then have it pass back here so that we can stand in the walkway and like hold you up and let out kind of thing. that probably made no sense.
No, I get it. You kind of want to make like a pivot point in the middle here, so that we can pass the rope all over, so I can use that to propel down, and then you guys can pull on it to bring me back up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully you won't go down there like a cruise missile. Didn't know how else to get Tom Cruise into there other than say cruise missile. Without saying Tom Cruise, but then I ruined it by saying Tom Cruise.
I don't know, man. Seems like Tom Cruise to me.
You could have cruised through it a little smoother, but we got there.
Like, at best I was trying to make a top pun, but that's it. Well, let's do this crazy plan.
Sounds like we got a plan, so...
Well, Jade's gonna need to crawl his way out to the middle here, anchor that rope down, which can stay back with your friends as they help to lower you down, of course.
Can I use a smaller piece of rope to keep a line to Jade as he takes the bigger piece out?
Oh yeah.
So that we can... Right, cool.
So what am I in the need of rolling?
First thing you're going to need is an acrobatics check to get yourself out to the middle. After that, raw athletics as you lower yourself down. You ready to start, are you? Because I'm going to move your mini off to the middle point. And in fact, I'm going to use DM power to put you dead middle, since, you know, it's Jade and he's cool and all.
We determined last time that I cannot activate Channel Divinity within the null zone. Does it stay active after I used it outside the zone and enter?
It would, any effects magical would be suppressed while you're in it there. Any effects of Channel Divinity would be negated when you walk in there. And I actually just gave a quick Google to make sure, and Jeremy Crawford gave a clarification on that one, thank God. Because that's always a complicated one, since it says divine power.
Says athletics to lower himself down.
But by the way, I have a TikTok about having a plan. I have posted it for your all enjoyment at some point.
I wonder if this is the one that I saw the other day.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm less worried about the lowering me down because it's climbing the rope and I have climb speed and all that stuff. The part that's worrying me is the acrobatics to get out there. I don't have that skill trained.
Yeah. Alright, you've got athletics trained. Acrobatics is...
Now, I did imply the actual acrobatics check isn't too difficult to walk across the beam. That's just to ensure you don't have an unlucky day. Because even a mountain goat can slip.
Oh, yeah, but we'd... I've got a rope around you as you go across the beam anyway.
Alright, let's see where this goes.
Alright, well, let's get this party started. Jade slowly sneaks his way across. Making his way to the center without any problem, anchoring that rope in. He finds himself situated quite comfortably. Not yet falling as you hover above the crystal from on high.
Nice.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna get a copyright strike for sure, but I don't care.
Or
Now you've got an athletics check to lower yourself down slowly. The dice rolls bring up a 20 total for Jade, as he starts to let himself down on that rope, spinning around in slow circles as he watches the top area disappear, Alec giving him that A-OK symbol. And within a few moments, you find your feet coming down to rest on solid ground. I'll just move your token a little so that you're down beside the crystal. The control console directly in front of you with very generic controls and a single power switch to kick it all on. And of course, that same solid pillar connecting this crystal to the ground made of incredible metal, presently surging with power, ready to disperse it back into Conqueror with a single switch of the lever.
Alright, let's do this. Flip the switch and start climbing the rope.
If only it was so simple. As Jade grabs and pulls the switch up hard, the crystal begins to hum and power draws out from it. However, there's no large surge of energy. As the power begins to go, you see the mirrors across the edges of this tunnel start twisting, turning, and shining, reflecting the light and burning it back, creating a beautiful aurora around the exterior, helping to channel the power straight down. However, remember how I said it was made up of segmented rings from top to bottom? They're all spinning in opposite directions now. The blades of these mirrors spinning as well. The wires between them twisting and churning. You can probably still climb your way up there, but it's fairly dangerous. And the wind tunnel that this creates, you find yourself now standing in the middle of a tornado. You could climb that rope up. Holding it in your hand as you are, you see it being twisted and whipped by the wind. Any path to make it straight back up to the top is going to be perilous and fraught with danger. And, to the surprise of your friends, the door behind them actually rolls close at this moment. No handle on the inside, as it seals itself shut. And the door on the opposite end of this room slowly opens.
I just want to point out, whoever designed these did a terrible job planning this. Like, seriously, like, why
As
is
is
it
most
that
dungeons.
I mean, yeah, but, like...
Yes, but they would be connected to the city, so they would be able to teleport within the city or fly, or whichever, so they would be able to fly straight up and not touch anything. Or just teleport back up.
I can see Nimbar and Jade having this exact discussion. Who the hell would design this like this? And Jade just yells back, it makes complete sense! So now the question remains, how does Jade want to try and get his way out of here? The first 100 foot of this climb is going to be very tricky because you're still beside the crystal, which brings you very perilously close to those spinning blades that twist and churn like a maelstrom around you. Making it past that crystal, you might have an easier time, but you're going to be fighting against the winds, trying not to be buffeted into the side wall. Now, of course, I'm assuming that your character might take a moment to anchor the bottom of the rope against the control console, so you don't have to worry about it whipping everywhere. Give you a little stability on that one. But you now have a hard challenge in front of you, my friend, and that's getting back out.
Yeah, move slowly and try and go up the side of the wall and not get cut to shreds by the mirrors. Or go up the rope and be whipped around by the wind.
Put my head back and forth.
With a climb speed of 35, I'll let you run 70 feet up the wall at any given time, but each turn that goes by is going to require a check from you in order to make it to the top. So that's going to be 7.
Is the new sword's powers suppressed while I'm in here?
Nope.
Then my climb speed would be 45.
Ah, there you go. So that means... Oops. You could do... Oh, shit, if I push the wrong button. I'm just doing the math to make my life easier. You could do it in 6 turns. You could make it up trying to climb across that wall, dodging razor wire and glass as you make your way.
So I'd be able to move and then do a second.
And honestly, if I was a bit more of a flamboyant DM for the moments like this, I'd be like, and we're cutting for next week's game. Because
Yeah.
it'd be the perfect spot for a commercial break, but I'd rather this one get finished, and then we'll call it a day.
So the question is, you said I can do the 90. Can I still bonus action sprint for another 45, and then that, since it'd be my action for sprinting up, kick in Lulu's Blessing, which would give me another 45? And then Feline Swiftness to double that?
Look, you're going to have to do the math on all the special stuff.
Oh, okay. Give me a moment, because that's the math I was trying to figure out earlier.
You find out what your maximum move distance for a singular turn is, and then keeping in mind that feline swiftness can limit you, but this might be the chance for Jade to prove his penultimate degree of speed. Can you move 500 in one go? Climb that wall like a mad spider and spook the shit out of Alec, because he doesn't like spiders.
I don't think anyone truly likes spiders.
The DM does.
It can't just... Alan, you're
I do.
father now.
I like spiders, genuinely.
See?
What is happening right now?
I can make the 500 feet in 2 turns. I can go 360 in 1 turn, and then half that the next turn, which would put me over the 500 mark. So it'd take me 2 turns to get up.
So your character could blitz it like a demon and try to make his way past those spinning blades. It will take you 2 athletics checks to make it to the top if you want to try and run back up. And part of me kind of imagines a cat jumping when it gets spooked, you know what I mean? How fast they go and how suddenly they're gone. That's pretty much what Jade's pulling here. To jump onto the wall and wham, up to the top of it in 2 turns, that's mad. So, you certainly can give that an attempt, Dan. It's going to be 2 athletics checks.
Yeah, that's what we'll go with, but I will use my inspiration on the first one to give myself advantage.
There you go, Alex. There's your adorable spider. He even has a raindrop on his head as a hat. How can you not love it?
Oh, it just... Ugh.
It's so adorable.
No.
Yes.
It's like not liking Lucas the spider.
I'm fine with spiders as if they want to stay outside where they're supposed to be, right? It's like you only see them when you're mid-squeeze on the toilet, or you just sat down on the couch enjoying a drink, and then they fucking show up. Their spindly wee legs, and they're like, "Alright, I'm in your house now," and you're like, "Now I need to fucking deal with you."
Oh my word.
Just
Well, that's
like-
actually Lucas the spider in a nutshell, but you'll get a kick. Well, you won't like it, but you know.
Just look, and do we need any more proof that they're bad uns than they tried to... One of them tried to kill Samwise Gamgee, the greatest hero there's ever been.
That's fair. Sam is the man.
Oh, and so I saw an article, I didn't read it because I was instantly furious, but the article suggested that Samwise Gamgee wouldn't be worthy of lifting Mjolnir, and I just thought, how dare you? How
You can do it.
absolutely dare you?
Well-
exactly.
And while we're all having a chat here, Dan has decided to become the dice god today. Rolls a nat 20 on that first athletics check. As
Jeez.
Jade burns 300 plus feet up the side of that wall like a monster, moving so quick pulling the limbo, jumping over wires, running across wires, bouncing off of mirrors, backflipping, and making the Prince of Persia look like the Prince of Nova Scotia. We don't have so many bouncy running around places here. They just run through the woods. Well, Dan, with one success under your character's belt as you move like wildfire, give us another roll.
I'm going to use my point of selfless inspiration you gave me last time and go advantage again.
All right.
Because I feel this is kind of important because I might die if I lose this.
Especially at 300 plus feet, and no way to help you if you fall.
Can I give him my inspiration?
Oh, you totally can. But he's going to burn his selfless.
I would like to give you my inspiration at this point in time.
Okay.
So Nimbar leans over as he sees Jade running and just yells, "You can do it!" Because, you know, that's what I like to say.
I mean, that's all I can do here.
Give me a dex save as Jade makes his way up. And then give me another athletics check, depending on if you pass or not. Oh my god, there's a nat 20 on the dex save as Jade just dodges one of the mirrors but comes to a halt for it. So give me another athletics check as you continue on your path. Your grip having faltered at one point on this stupid fast climb. Again, another dex save. Jade seems to be at that point on that game show Wipeout where he's now backflipping over the same thing over and over again, trying to find a foothold. Can he get it with his third athletics check?
Do you want my inspiration? Oh, Tilly, he's rolled.
As he pops up over the ledge and catches on, probably breathing quite deeply and quite tired. Exhausted, though untouched by the ravages of the blades below, which make quick work now of the free dangling rope, turning it to little more than shredded noodle. But Jade safely makes it to the very top of this crystal chamber.
And lays down on his back.
You've seen a horse fly, and you've seen a superfly, but you've never seen a Jade fly until today.
Yes, we have. Jade has had wings.
Well, I know. You have that cloak that was really cool for a while there. But you know my point. That degree of movement speed as you make it up to the top. If I was a player, you'd be getting the golf clap. But with that, the crystal remains active, and the door leading into this room quite sealed. With no handle and no way that seemed to open it. Brute force might be your only option, but given how strong and tough these doors are, that could take a while. Outside of that, another path leads out from where you presently are, where Nimbar finds not Nimbar searching. But congratulations to Dan. Oh, sorry, what was that, Jillian?
No, I was just gonna apologize for dropping out randomly. I don't often charge the computer in until I need to.
Oh,
and yeah, well, it didn't give me any warning or anything, and I forgot to check because I was drawing. But
That's
yeah,
fair.
she just died on me.
Well, you missed Jade pulling about 500 feet in 2 turns and surviving against crazy odds.
Amazing.
Part of the course. The door leading into this room sealed shut when the crystal was activated, and the door leading out of this room from the opposite end opened. Not Nimbar was peeking, but...
Yeah, about that speed, did I create a sonic boom? Because I'm pretty sure, unless I did my math... Oh, no. Hang on.
Be close.
No.
It'd be enough to throw that tornado spin off.
Sorry, I did my math wrong.
Well, before we cut for today's week, did we want to take Not Nimbar forward?
May as well.
Because I'll give you all one small twist forward, as Not Nimbar creeps his way, the DM taking control of the token. The first path leads to a curving pair of dead ends, with nothing to them. No traps to be found, as the hallway light seems very bright now. Curving around a twisting, turning set of tunnels and corridors, you find nothing but silence awaiting. As I move your mini towards the next zone. As this hallway has no traps in it, or at least no active traps you find, leading you towards another doorway. And normally, I'd let you all do the exploration, find out that, but one, we're a little short on time, and two, I've kind of railroaded you. You do not have any other path you can take. But there is a door in front of you all. An unlocked door, in fact. If you'd all like a preview for next week, by all means, feel free to pop it open.
What you reckon, guys?
Well, someone opened it. I heard a button click.
I think it was Jelly. I think I heard Jillian say it was.
Flux opens
Oh,
the door.
sorry, I was on mute. I'm so sorry.
I walk up, probably Jade giving a rub of the jaw. This door looks unlocked. Flux just grabs it and opens it and says, you know what? We've been through enough today. With no evil, nasty surprises. Opening up, you see what appears to be an alchemical supply room. With generic ingredients and instructions for anyone who'd be into alchemy, this would be a wonderful quick spot to drop for making potions and other such things. But what's probably catching your eye more than anything else is the pulsating circular teleportation room that sits in the middle of this section.
Last time we did that, we fought a legendary dragon that was thousands and thousands of years old.
Bellamy was here, she'd be giving you a big high five gang. Hell yeah, we did. I'm sure of it.
Surely there can't be more thousand-year-old dragons waiting for the end of a teleport circle.
Sir, I need you to go find wood and knock your head against it.
And don't mind me, all I'm doing is pulling the team forward.
I wondered who would give me any trouble for saying that.
Of course it's gonna be me, let's be honest.
Well, I'm usually the one telling people not to say such nonsense.
There we go.
dear.
Yeah, I'm literally just popping your minis in there so we know where we're at for next week's game. As you find yourselves inside of a very pretty alchemical supply room. If anyone has the ability to brew potions or do anything like that, this is a fully stocked room. Has some generic treasure in it as well. Potions. But we'll get on those next week.
I can make potions. I have a herbalism kit.
Well, there you go.
I
All
just
the
don't
supplies
think
you'd need.
we've got the spare workday to make one.
That's the kicker. But there are some potions in this room. And in fact, some of those odd mushrooms you saw earlier are harvested and cultivated here. Seem to be used as ingredients. As mentioned, that's mostly what they're for. Plus a door leading to the south in this room, and a teleport circle in the middle. But I think that's good for this week's game. It's nice to get back into the swing of things. Don't expect to let me get you through a tunnel like this without too many traps in future, though, because, you know, this is the only good one. But I didn't want you all trudging through it like anything here, when it would just waste your time. This time.
That's fair enough.
Other times I'll do it anyway to build suspense because it's fun.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I've did that a few times recently, because it's like, there's nothing in this room. You're like, why is it an adventure then?
Yep, just to throw people off. Alrighty then. Well, I think I will call today's session at that point. Unless anyone has any questions as per the norm. I'm going to go ahead now and switch the stream off as well.